Is this the same? There's no way this is the
Hey,
same
I'm
chip.
Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me
Morning,
is
everybody.
every single time you take a bite, you know you're gonna get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. The Chick-fil-A.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be going over the brand new Paragon board. This is for the endgame. It just got leaked / data mined, so keep in mind everything. Take it with a little grain of salt, as
did they actually fix that? Oh, hell yeah. Guys, that's where you rotate the shit around. Interesting. Okay.
not everything is going to be true in any data mine, but it's going to give us a rough idea on how it works, and I'll kind of explain to you guys how it works. And it's different for each class, as there's going to be different nodes depending on the classes that you play. So starting right off, let's go ahead and explain how it works, and then if you guys are looking for certain timestamps, depending on if you're looking for a specific class and you want to see like their special legendary nodes, we'll go over that in a second. But watch this part first, because I'll explain how the glyph socket system works, as it's kind of complex, and we'll also explain how the Paragon board works. So once you reach level 50, you're going to be getting, I believe, several Paragon points per level after that. There's a maximum of 200 Paragon points. I'm sure some of you guys have maybe seen some of the stats that were revealed previously, which would be like...
This right here is the best. That d4planner.io, they hadn't added this Paragon board the last time I looked, which is a couple days ago. And as of last night, I guess it's up. So if y'all like this d4planner.io, the Paragon board's up. It's way better than that other Paragon planner that we were using. This one's a lot better, so use this one. But this one's a lot more... Oh, Lord, excuse me. This one makes a lot more sense, how they're laying it out.
+5 to main stat, or some sort of like index, you know, that kind of stuff. But there's also smaller other nodes which will give life, but there are going to be bigger nodes, and there's going to be glyphs. So let me explain how this works. So once you reach, I believe, level 50, you're going to have access to the Paragon starting node. And what your goal is your goal is to reach the door here, which is a gate node, which will allow you to attach another Paragon board. So first off, let's go and explain the Paragon board.
That's why they showed you they rotate. Because all the different boards can actually fit together. Okay, this guy, I'm actually going to be positive this morning. Start my morning off positive. This guy's, I really like this video so far. He hasn't said anything negative. Nothing's clickbaity. He's just showing us this thing from d4.io. So
then I'll explain the glyph sockets and what these can do, because these get a little bit more crazy. So starting right off, you're starting off at the very bottom here, and your goal is to work towards the gate. Now, in order to get there, you have to actually path towards it. So some of the nodes are very small, and as far as I'm aware of, you cannot go diagonal. So I'd have to go here, here, here. And some of these nodes, they do have some sort of bonus if you happen to reach a certain threshold. Like right now, it says plus 5% damage if requirements are met. This could be...
See, remember everybody said, like, these are stupid. These are just, like, for dexterity. And I'm seeing that rare node right there says plus 5% damage, plus 3% life. Like, that's pretty substantial. But there's so much lack of depth, right?
A lot of different things. It could be that you require a certain amount of dexterity, or it could be a certain amount of allocations in a radius, which is kind of like a Path of Exile system. It's pretty complex. We'll talk more about that in a second once I go over glyphs that have something to do with sockets. So we can... we don't need a mouse over every single thing. Most of these are relatively small. Some of the more rare nodes over here, it's just like more stats at the end of the day. But these get a little bit more interesting, and I'll kind of go ahead and just kind of make a quick little path here so you guys can see. That's so much more than
just the +1 to intelligence, +5 to intelligence, or whatever that everybody else was bitching about. So the reason is... here's the good one. And then there's another one that y'all might be using. It's this one. No, this is the leak. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Y'all might have seen this one before. So if you compare this one to this, I mean, there's just no comparison. So this is the one I recommend using. But if you look at their Paragon board and look at theirs, this was real confusing for me to understand. I don't know, maybe it's just the UI. But see here, this one shows that you can go diagonal. Which this one also doesn't work that well, so you can, the board attachment gate, you can open this one up. And I can literally pick this one without unlocking anything, so that's why I quit using this. This one. Yeah, see, it'll let you go sideways on that one too, so I don't know.
And I probably wouldn't take every single point, as your whole goal is to get towards the end of the board so you can get some of the more extreme ones. So I think I actually already pathed that over here. So the ones in yellow are basically our path. And I would suggest making sure you at least hit the glyph socket over here. Now the glyph socket is important because it's going to be something that you can actually put in your Paragon board. It's like a socketable thing. So what is a glyph? This website over here, Pure Diablo, kind of explains it. So a glyph is, think of it kind of like a legendary gem. If you played Diablo 3, think of it like a legendary gem because you can upgrade these. Okay. So you put these in, and what do they actually do? Let's go ahead and zoom in on how it works. So first off, you can level these up. So all of the numbers inside here that show yellow, these...
So wait, hold on, glyphs. So you mean to tell me that you can actually get these glyphs and upgrade them in certain dungeons, which is why they removed the reset dungeon button so that you wouldn't narrow the scope of the game. Perfect. Okay.
These numbers can fluctuate, and they can actually be leveled up. You can see level 3, 8, 15, and here is another screenshot. This one was, like, I believe, from, like, the pre-alpha that they showed off a while ago. But basically, you see all of these glyphs, and they have, like, a level to them. The more that you put in, the higher the numbers they go. What's max level? I honestly do not know at the moment, but if any of you guys do know, let me know down below. But you can upgrade these. Again, it's very similar to the Diablo 3 gem system, as you're going to be able to get these, and then you start upgrading. And as far as I'm aware of, I don't know if they specified where exactly these drop. I'm guessing anywhere, as they haven't specified. You can only get them from a certain mechanic. But that's basically what a glyph is. So once you unlock this glyph socket, you can then take your item and put it in here. Now, as far as it costing gold to unsocket, I do not have that information for you guys. But there may be some sort of cost if you want to remove it. As far as I'm aware of, you can socket it and you can still upgrade it. I don't think that they'd make it so like you cannot upgrade it while it's already socketed. Like you don't have to level it up, then socket it in, and be afraid that you would have to remove it and pay some sort of cost.
I don't know, it is Blizzard.
Socket it in, and be afraid that you would have to remove it and pay some sort of a cost. But basically, some of these nodes, again, they're not going to be super insane. I want to go over the more insane ones because most of these are just numerical stat changes. Armor, HP, some of them may vary depending on which side that you go, but basically you want to path towards one side. Like, usually, what I've seen so far, because I briefly did check this out, there's going to be some stuff that will be brand new for me as well here, but how it works is there's usually one path that leads towards defensive stats and one that leads towards more offensive stats. So you can see this one is damage, this one is armor / dexterity. This one over here is extra resistance and life, and then this one is damage. So basically, you choose the path that you kind of want to go, and they're kind of just more simple. But I also want to mention
there's a couple that are
in
simple,
one of the showcasings that they did that they were talking about, glyphs can actually affect a radius. So what I mean by that is, it'll say if you happen to have like 50 dexterity within some sort of a circle. If you've played Path of Exile, think of like the radius like nodes. So basically, you'd be able to get a certain amount of stat, whether it's index, strength, you'll get some extra bonus, which we'll talk about. Like this one over here says bonus 5% damage if requirements are met. That's what it usually is. It could be something different if it's changed, but that's basically what they mean by that. Now, once you get to the end, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. So if we get to the gate node, we're going to be able to select a bunch of different Paragon boards. Now, I'm not sure if this game actually has a limit. In here, we could just keep on going with the Paragon boards. Like, I believe you can only attach 4. But again, Some stuff is, of course, subject to change, and some of the information that I'm giving you guys is going to be
no depth, though,
taking
right?
it with a grain of salt. So you get to select a bunch of different ones. Now, when you attach a Paragon board, this is how it works. I'm just going to select the first one here so you guys get an idea. So this one says Eldritch Bounty. Now, what does that do? So you can see all of the nodes here. They're pretty much similar to the other ones. They're just plus the main stat. There's extra HP or resistance. Very small stats. One of them was like 1% potion healing, which is such a small, minuscule amount. Over the time, of course, it could add up. And there's usually some sort of glyph socket. But the main thing that I want to go over that is going to be the highlight and the most important part of this video is going over the legendary node. So this is what Eldritch Bounty does. Now, as far as I'm aware of, you can select whichever one that you want, and you're going to be able to choose how this Paragon board is oriented. So how it works is you can rotate the Paragon board. So you can see over here, if I click this, it rotates it. So you can see maybe I specifically want to grab this glyph socket first. Maybe I just want to rush this legendary node, which I'm not sure which point, maybe faster, maybe this one will be faster. But then I want to reach another gate over here. So you can see if I path over here.
I hate to keep pausing it. This is the most, as far as him just talking about this, he's not a source or anything. This is the most in-depth look that I've had at it so far. Now, we're going to have the developer live stream tomorrow. Now, that's a reminder for everybody. At 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific, join me here. We can all watch it together, and then we can talk about it live. Now, I'm just kind of sucked into this because all we've heard about Paragon boards is it's trish trash. There's nothing going on. It's not any depth. I'm learning brand new things about it. I didn't realize that there was going to be areas that affected it and the glyphs were going to be this. This is actually pretty damn interesting.
Now, in this mode over here, I can just select the gate and I can select another one. But normally you would have to pass to the gate. You cannot just go from this gate, put one point into the gate, and be like, I want to attach another Paragon board. That's not actually how it works. So you'll have to actually get the full path. Now, I won't go over all of the pathing nodes. Maybe we'll make a video that goes over like the best pathing node. But I really just want to highlight these legendary nodes in this video. So going over the rogues over, you can see this Eldritch Bounty makes it so when you attack with an imbued skill, you gain 20% resistance and times 20% increased damage for that imbuedness element for 6 seconds.
That's why they added the cooldown, increased the cooldown on imbuements, because they knew that once they saw what it did in the first 25 levels, they knew that it would probably be game-breaking with this node. And there's little things like that we don't know yet, so this helps bring some context to that. I don't think we've thought about that.
So that's what that legendary node does. Now, I kind of want to use this video to go over all of the important legendary nodes and give you guys the explanation, which I already gave you guys, on how the glyph and socket system works. Because basically, these are going to be pretty much the same on most of the classes. But I want to have this video go over everything, so let's go ahead and get started. So that's what Eldritch Bounty does. This is, I guess, the rogues. Let's go ahead and have it. So this is not helping my withdrawals at all. All the rogues legendary nodes, because some of these you may want to build your character around. Obviously this one's kind of small, but there might be ones that are bigger. I haven't actually checked out all of these. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just close this Paragon board over here if I can. Let's see, do I have to unspec the point out, and then we're going to go to the next one. I want to check out all of these myself. So
holy shit. Okay, I got to pull this up for myself and show y'all.
As far as the
hush. Okay, so this is the everybody has this board. This is what you start out with, it looks like. And then once you work your way here, then you can pick, let's go Carnage. Excuse me. Golly. I'm a little gassy this morning. Berserkin, so this is going to be, oh, it's Barbarian, dumbass, Druid. Get my baby back up here. All right, so you start out with this baseboard. And then you come in and, holy shit, okay. And then we work our way this way. Thunderstruck, and we can attach another board. Look at the lack of depth in this game. People are clowns. This is a really great video. I'm kind of
Other
surprised. I hadn't
legendary
seen this
node
guy
over
before.
here, we have our marksman
If you
skills.
just joining me,
grant
good morning,
your next
we having
cutthroat skill,
Diablo
25%
4
increased damage.
Withdrawls.
Your
We're checking out
cutthroat
the
skills
Paragon board.
grant your next marksman skills to deal 25% increased damage. Okay, so this is basically for a hybrid build. Okay, that's kind of cool. Again, these nodes, there's always going to be a glyph socket, and you just need to eventually get to one part of the end of the tree, and then you can keep on going with all of your points. You can see we've allocated 22 out of 200. But again, just checking out the legendary nodes here is the point of this video. Next up, we have Cheap Shot. So we deal 5% increased damage for each nearby enemy that is crowd controlled up to 25%. Okay, so it's just flat numerical.
These damn tunes are going to be really damn strong. I'm talking about.
And then now I think we just did Cheap Shot, right? Okay, so next up we are on Deadly Ambush, and we'll do this for every single class here. So after, it says you deal 22.5% increased critical strike damage to enemies affected by your trap skill. So I guess that's more for a trapper build. And let's see what the next one is. So this is Leirana's Instinct, and the legendary notes over here. And it says when your inner sight gauge becomes full, you gain plus 100% dodge chance for 1.5 seconds. Okay, so I'm just gonna dodge basically a couple of abilities. Then we have Note Witnesses. This makes it so your ultimate skill deals 30% increased damage and grants you 10% increased damage for 20 seconds when cast.
Rogue's gonna be so OP.
This could be actually pretty big. I wonder how it works with the shadows, because theoretically you can get 80% extra or 80% of your damage, but this would actually make it do more. It'd be 110%, and I don't know if that multiplies times the 10% increased damage, but this one could be pretty big for PvP if you want to do some sort of like a shadow clone build. That one's pretty cool. I like that one. And then next up we have Exploit Weakness. This one makes it so whenever you deal damage to a vulnerable enemy, they take 1% increased damage from you for 6 seconds up to 15%. Okay, so that's what the Exploit Weakness does. Let's see if there's any that are going to completely change up a build, because this is what I was really hoping to see in terms of complexity for the game. Like I said, I haven't seen these. These are brand new to myself as well.
Right.
So cutting,
this is
strategy,
erasing the not complex
your non-damage combo points bonuses are increased by 33.334% when you spend 3 combo points. Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that the devs haven't done like a troll video on the community.
Huh. That could be interesting. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, so that is for the Rogue. Now, I want to cover all the classes. Obviously, we had to do Rogue first. Let's go to Sorcerer next, and then again, I'll put timestamps for any of the classes. So with the Sorcerer, let's go ahead and just put this node in. Again, you'll have to path towards it. If you look at them, it's basically the same sort of setup
really
here.
Don't care.
So
Let's
start off
with
the Searing Heat, so I'm guessing ones. Next up, we've got the Druid.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what the Druid gets. We have Thunderstruck. So Storm skills deal 30% increased critical strike damage against vulnerable or immobilized enemies.
Wow.
The second one, Earth and Devastation.
So I hate to keep pausing this, but there's a lot of hate about Druid, and a lot of people aren't seeing that the Poison Creeper, Vine Creeper, whatever you want to call it, that's going to be a huge player in the game where it can immobilize everything and poison everything's ass, and that immobilize, based on the math that one of my subscribers did, it's a 7.8 second immobilize. That's a long time in the game. 7.8 whole seconds. That's a long time. A lot of y'all can't even wait to let me finish my sentence. So, and that takes about 7 seconds. So
have a 30%
30% increased damage to enemies. Oh my god. See, so I made a video about Druid. If you want to go watch it, go check it out. But it's talking about they bring at least 5 crowd controls to the game. They're like a crowd control machine. Wow. Yeah, they don't do any damage though.
Enemies affected by.
That's why I can't stand Rex's little 17 DPS. Like fuck
crowd
off.
Control. Okay. So another damage multiplier, Survival Instincts. While in Werebear form, you deal 1% increased damage up to 50% for every 1% difference in current life percent between you and the enemy.
Mind.
Oh, okay. I'm wondering.
Oh, never mind. Okay, between
if
you
you
and
can
the enemy.
Start making a low life build.
No.
This is where I get.
No. Don't make a low life build. It's gonna work on the enemy side too. So if you have full life and the enemy starts getting like halfway through, your damage is going to increase as that enemy loses life. So you don't have to make like a Uchi Mori's or whatever the hell that damn item was called, that critical strike item that you made in Diablo 3, or that you wore in Diablo 3 to like have low health and all strikes were guaranteed crit hit. You don't have to build it like that. It's just, this is just something that's going to scale. Your damage is going to scale as the monster's health decreases.
Again, I like this idea. This is cool. And on top of that, it gets stronger, potentially, if you make your build around that. That's really cool. Next up, we have Lust for Carnage. Critical strikes with werewolf skills restore 2 spirit. Okay. I would say 2 spirit is relatively small, isn't it?
Your spirit
heightened
globe is small.
Malice. While there are 3 or more poison enemies nearby, you deal 45%.
So you got to remember with werewolf, your attack speed's huge. Your bonus is huge. Your lucky hit's a little bit higher. Crit strike is higher. Your overall attacks per second is higher with the werewolf. So all of that stacking, all of that determine whatever, we just touched on that. Your attack speed's going to be faster. You're going to be gaining a lot more spirit than it sound. 2 spirit per hit sounds like it's not a lot, but if you're, if you're going all over the place hitting these motherfuckers fast as hell, you're going to gain spirit back pretty quick.
Increase damage, so maybe for a poison build. And then we have Inner Beast. After shapeshifting, your spirit costs are reduced by 10% for 5 seconds, up to 30%. So if you constantly, shift up to a bunch of different...
Where I have a concern about this is this item, the unique that keeps you in shapeshifting for. Now, granted, you got to find that item first, so I guess this is kind of stupid to bitch about. But if you do have that item and you're building this Paragon board, are your spirit costs reduced by 10%? Oh, no, they're not reduced by 10, up to 5 seconds. So you're only going to get that node once, so maybe not take that node. So I know everybody thinks I'm a fanboy about the game, and I don't critique it at all, but I do. So this is about the first thing that I've seen that needs to be kind of edited. They need to look at that because they have that other item that keeps you in perma werebear. So maybe just spirit reduce cost by 10% while you're in werebear form would be a little bit better, but
forms.
Who cares?
Some resource cost reduction, 30%. That could be pretty
awfully
big.
quiet this morning. What's going on with y'all? Oh, that's why, because the goddamn chat ain't showing up.
Next up, we have Constricting Tendrils. Lucky hit, nature magic skills have up to a 15% chance to entangle the enemy with vines, immobilizing them for 2 seconds and poisoning for 120% of the base damage dealt over 4 seconds. Okay, I like that. I think this is...
Matt, brother, they didn't make any changes. They didn't do anything. All they did was take away a reset dungeon button, which sent Rax into a mind spiral. So they didn't make really any changes besides the backtracking, which, really who cares? I mean, it didn't bother me either way, shape, or form. So if they want to give them the backtracking, and then I love that they took away the reset dungeon button, and they're making all these fucking basement dwellers just freak out. It's hysterical.
A little bit more interesting, especially for PvP. This could be pretty big if you happen to proc it, since it doesn't have some sort of internal effect can only act.
The max roll guys, they think that they've got. Y'all got to remember there was multiple. I mean, they probably got hundreds of thousands of feedback about the beta. The max roll guys are just a drop in the bucket. They didn't just go over to those guys. I know I did a video on it, Matt. I know they made changes. What I'm saying is they didn't make crazy max roll changes. They didn't. Rax wanted the game completely changed. They didn't do all that. They gave them small adjustments to things that are no big deal whatsoever, that are just part of a beta that I guarantee you they already had in the works to begin with. All they did was just adjust some skills, which is why they had the beta to begin with, because there's only so much, let's say, game testers in Blizzard. Let's say there's 50 of them. There's only so much those guys are going to see. When you give the game to 1 million people, then that's when you see when your balancing problems need to be addressed. And so they're going to make minor balancing. Now, we don't have to agree with it or not. We might be a better players than the majority of those other players. We may not. But the main thing is, I was scared to death when that list came out, but I actually was pleased because they fixed an issue, which I exploited it myself, but I knew it probably killed the game, is that reset dungeon button. And so that's the thing. Go watch Rax meltdown about it. It is fucking hilarious. What? I need more clarification. And the reason, I'm going to tell you why the reason they did that is because there's so much to do in the game that they saw everybody playing it like Diablo 3 and farming one motherfucking dungeon. I talked about this on stream last night. We have mounts. Everybody's forgetting that we have all these horses. So when you get done with one dungeon, I watched a guy complain about Rax has his own opinions, and the game should not be changed based on how one man wants to play the game. And he wants to play Diablo 3.0 or 3.1. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to play Diablo 4. And when he bitched about pulling the entire dungeon and then they still didn't fix crowd control, that's because that's not the playstyle. That they don't want you to play it like Diablo 3. You're going to have to stop playing the game like Diablo 3. That's just all there is to it. It's Diablo 4. You couldn't play Diablo 2 like you played Diablo 3. You couldn't play Diablo 3 like you played Diablo 2. You couldn't play Diablo 3 or 2 like you played Diablo 1. I highly doubt login will reset it. It's going to be on a cooldown. Your party's going to be able to do it, but again, y'all are missing the whole point. And that's like, this is what's kind of frustrating. You don't, that's not going to be what you're doing. You're not going to farm a dungeon over and over and over and over again. You're defeating the whole point of why they reset it. There's 100 of them. So you just get on your horse with your buddies, because it's supposed to be social. So you're already looking at it from a D3, D2 mindset. They don't want you to do that anymore. The game cannot be groundbreaking and revolutionary and all this if we don't allow it to be. If we've already are taking the one game and trying to fit it back in the mold of the previous game. Like, that's what another thing that's frustrating about all the community saying that the game is not revolutionary. You won't allow it to be revolutionary because you won't just sit back, shut the fuck up, and play the game. And then give your criticisms after the game's out. But we've been waiting for the game for so long, for 10 damn years, that we feel like we're entitled to just say that the game's trash and there's all this other shit and it should be done like this and it should be done like that. We hadn't even played the game. We've played a touch of the demo that was a server stress test and a balancing test that wasn't even 100% done, and they told us that from the beginning. Everyone's talking about the fucking fonts and shit in the game. I'm embarrassed, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like we're a bunch of toddlers that were given a toy to test and see if it would drive, but we rated everything else. And so now we're getting all this stuff, and the game could very well be game-breaking or revolutionary and new things. But if everyone keeps wanting to play it like Diablo 3 and farm one fucking dungeon, then it's never going to be game-breaking revolution. What is the point? Answer me this question. What's the point of putting strongholds in, Helltide events, all this other shit, if everyone's bitching about wanting to farm a dungeon over and over and over and over and over again? And then, mark my words, if they had left that reset dungeon button in there, they would have given the game a week or 2 weeks, said it was boring ass, repetitive, hot, sick trash, and would have abandoned the game. Prove me wrong. It's not meant to be played like that. They wouldn't have given you a horse if they didn't want you to play like that. They would have just let you farm. They would have just called it Diablo Recycled and just play the dungeon over and over and over again. I think the role of dungeons, you're going to need to complete the dungeon, get the aspect that you need from that dungeon, and move the fuck on to the next one until you can unlock the nightmare dungeon of that. And I think that's where the reset is going to be, because you can just go buy that key. This is all speculation, but it would make sense to me. Go buy the key and then keep opening that dungeon again. They don't care about that because you're having to spend your damn orbs on that, right? So that's what I think a lot of us need to just hit the fucking brakes and relax. Relax. Don't do it. Just fucking relax. And let's say, like, look at this video right here, which I paused it to get on my soapbox. But this video right here is talking about shit that literally nobody has talked about. So, like I said about 10 minutes ago, let me pull this back up. Everyone's been using this board, and it sucks. Like, mad respect to the guy that made it. It was the first one out, but there's been no improvements on it at all. And it's very confusing for a hick like me to fucking use. But when I come over to this one, it's like, ta-da, holy shit, right? It makes sense. And look, it's not just +5, +2, plus this, plus that. Remember what everybody was saying? that this was all hot, sick trash. There was no depth. It's not true. There's magic nodes. There's fucking rare nodes that give you other shit that stacks with this. There's a radius. There's glyph sockets that hold aspect. There's legendary nodes that deal damage. We ain't even got a damn clue. And they still so focused on a reset dungeon button because they want to play the game like it was fucking 2012 again. Well, so if you want to play the game like 2012, go buy 2012 hardware, go build a 2012 case, and go sit your ass in 2012 and play it. Because I saw it. I've been through fucking D3 launch. I built a PC for it. I remember it. And then I remember the fallout afterwards because everyone hated it. Do you want to live through the same thing? No. So let's enjoy the game. It's gonna be fucking bad ass. And I'm going on record right now, and I'm gonna tell y'all all. See, I've already gone around to some of these guys that say they've refunded their money. And I've refunded, fuck this. And I said, don't let us catch you playing the fucking game. If you refunded during the beta, that is your right and your choice. And I respect that. But don't play the fucking game again. Because it's all clickbait bullshit. And all these creators are guilty of making this game look like shit for their own monetization and glory and views and shit. And it pisses me off. So this planner, Dan, is d4planner.io. Very easy. I don't want to link it right now because I have to sign in through my fucking multi-stream and I don't feel like doing all that. This one was okay. Move on to this one. I mean, look at this. Earth skills deal 30% increased damage to enemies affected by crowd control. You remember when Rod Ferguson said, like, hey, you haven't even touched the druid. You bring 5 crowd controls as the damn Earth druid. So, that's just a touch. So that's why everyone's like, why do you get heated with Rax and shit about that? That's why. Because when you're so fucking arrogant that you send a goddamn 8-page list when we haven't even played the fucking game, that's what makes me want to rip my hair out. You literally played a demo and then you were so narcissistic you provided 8 pages of feedback. And a lot of it was on shit like, there's a bug about the mouse wheel. Well, no shit, it's a beta, dude. We all know all that's going to be fixed. All right, enough. Let's see the rest of this.
Activate once every, like,
then we're going to look at another
seconds.
video.
It has no cooldown. I mean, if you just stack up a bunch of nature magic and a bunch of attack speed, that could be pretty nasty, especially if you can maybe refresh it while they're already entangled.
I'm going to tell you right now, Druid's going to be
cool
OP.
But that one was
17 damage. Yeah, my asshole. Good. I played the Druid. I know what it can do. It wasn't a meme build. Here we have
Ancestral Guidance. After spending 75 spirit, you deal 30% increased damage for 5 seconds. Okay. So that was the Druid.
That's actually badass.
Next up, we have the...
Hold on, you can tell you didn't play Druid. Hold on, let's back that up. After spending 75 spirit, you gain 30% increased damage for 5 seconds. As y'all know, if you do anything with Druid's real spirit hungry. That's fucking badass. You can damn spend all your spirit and deal 30% increase. Okay. That's going to stack on some stuff. I got some theory crafting to do later.
So that was the Druid. Next up, we have the fan favorite. Hopefully the last will be the best. We've got the Necromancer. So let's check these ones out as well. So we've got the Cult Leader.
You ain't lying there, game.
Summoner. So your minions deal 10% increased damage for...
Hey, I'm just going to bust everybody's bubble, and a lot of y'all might click off for me saying this. But I made a video last week, and I was watching what Rax said. Y'all probably seen my video when I looked at Rax's little list. And he said that he streamed 68 hours. And that was on the early access. And I found that really hard to believe. I was like, damn, that's like an hour and a half sleep every night. And like, we're getting up there. I mean, I'm sure he's around my age. That's hard for a guy in his mid-30s to do that. It's hard to stay up. I don't care if you take an Adderall, you're going to have a crash. Because I take Adderall. I know how it is. You're going to have a crash. You're going to have to go to bed. So I thought, damn, that's a lot of playing. And so, see, I already lost. Look, the viewers that come off already. That's so fucking funny. Y'all got to stop sucking this guy off. So anyway, long story short, a bunch of my viewers were like, he absolutely did stream 68 hours. And I was like, okay, I don't think that he did that. So I went over there and I actually cruised through his entire stream. and I tallied up. This is very childish, but it's just to prove a point about how people worship content creators and they don't think for themselves. He had his girlfriend come in and sit on stream, and then I watched, he had his brother or somebody who was wearing his same hoodie switch seats with him in stream and sit there in his place. So if you didn't know any better, you would glance. He looks very similar to him and has the 5 o'clock shadow and all that shit. He sat there and played the game. So Rax in reality streamed 48 hours, which is a very respectable time. It's all this is fine. But he told everybody that he streamed 68 hours, which annoys the shit out of me because that's deceit. And when you use experience and time played and all this as a basis for your expertise and experience level, and you exaggerate that by like 30%, I think that's kind of bullshit. And instead of anybody going to question that, because if I lied about some shit like that, everybody and their brother would be like, Hog fucking lied, he's a cheater, piece of shit, he lied. But I don't know, I just found that funny when someone that calls T-HUD cheating and calls out cheaters and does all this other stuff, going game exploits are not fair and all this, but he's exploiting all this shit. And then all his viewers come over to me and tear me down when I actually point out some real shit. And they're like, oh, well, Rax is the best player. No, Rax has the best illusion. Okay, anyway, just wanted to tell you all that.
Have active. This only applies to the minion types Skeletal Warrior, Skeletal Mage, and Golems.
Michael, Mumar, that's fine. You might have streamed 80 hours. I'm telling y'all that I sat down and I went through his entire stream. Took me about an hour. And I tallied up when he played Minecraft, when he played chess, when he waited in the queue. He did not stream 68 hours. His stream might have been turned on. He might have been turned on for 68 hours, but he did not play 68 hours. Okay? That's fine. You might be able to prove it. I'm telling you that I found out that he didn't do that. And it doesn't make any difference, but I'm just saying the internet is an illusion. Okay? So let me make a good point. Which I'll take y'all through all my shit, because my goal is to be 100% transparent. What you see is what you get. Ain't nothing fake about me. There's nothing exaggerated. I know I'm a certified piece of shit. It's whatever. See, if I show you this phone in one dimension, it's tough, it's hard, it's solid, okay? From this angle, it looks like, it's something. But see, if I show it to you from this angle, it's thin, it's useless, it's nothing. It's all about perspective, you see? The internet shows you a perspective, and you always have to keep that in the back of your mind when you follow these content creators. And I guess the thing is, you got to remember that when you go to attack somebody else, defending somebody else who's obviously dishonest. And it doesn't matter. I know he's a great player, and I know he's this and that, but I don't like dishonesty, and I don't like misleading a community and doing that shit and thinking that you're some holier than thou fucking player. And that's just the way that it comes off to me. That's it. It is what it is. And I know I ain't everybody's cup of tea either. So, whatever.
So I'm guessing it goes up to 30% increased damage. That's good. I would say that's probably going to be like a no-brainer from most Necromancer builds, as most people like the Summoner. Next up, we have Hulking Monstrosity. Our Golem has 30% increased maximum life and deals 30% increased damage. Okay, cool. I wonder if these are going to be multiplicative with all of the other modifiers, because that'd be like 60% increased damage. Just with those two nodes, just for Golem right there.
I wanted to show y'all something. Somebody pulled this up last night. I don't know if y'all can see this. This is the top. Come on, this is the top Diablo channels for 2023. And you see your boy Hog there, number 4. Somebody sent it to me last night. It's on FeedSpot. It's Diablo, Vegito number 2, Rax number 3, and then I'm in at number 4. And it's based on a couple other things, video views and freshness and some other thing. I thought it was fucking dumb, personally, but I just wanted to share that. I thought it was pretty interesting. Somebody put me on a damn list about the best channel.
Oh my gosh, the corpse explosion with the blood mist build. It's not that difficult to consume 5 corpses. This might be one of the best nodes in the entire game, considering it doesn't say up to a maximum. So if I'm going to continuously consume corpses and just activate it, oh my gosh, Flesh Eater, absolutely insane. If you guys have seen that legendary with Blood Mist, you know what I'm talking about. This thing
No, we
is probably going to be the best
Hobbs
node
right
in the
here,
entire
baby.
game.
This is
Because it
part
has
of
no
the
cap. Everything else, if you saw with Rogue, everything was capped.
I'm talking. I got on the rant because I think somebody mentioned him first. Second of all, we're going through the Druid Paragon, and I said, see, I think Druid's going to be a lot more powerful than 17 fucking damage. You know, like intentionally making a meme to destroy a class so nobody plays it. It's pretty funny, isn't it? Yeah. It's detrimental to the game at this point. It's detrimental to the community. So
Cap. Same thing with
it
a lot
needs
of
to
things
be
with
called
Barb.
out every
Yeah,
time.
This is Flesh Eater, probably one of the best nodes in the game so far. Scent of Death. With at least 2 corpses nearby, you gain 15% damage reduction. With no corpses nearby, you deal 15% increased damage. I mean, either way, you're getting some bonus. I think this is going to be a no-brainer. Remember, I believe you can get up to like 4
Dude,
at least.
I just can't help
Scent
but
of Death.
I know you said we're
with
stuck
at
on
least
Rex, but since everybody uses him as the, he's the expert. So yesterday on stream, I was watching one of his videos, and he was saying that the when you run out of corpses, like that's got to be fixed because you're relying on corpses again. Diablo 3 mindset. Well, right here, with no corpses, you deal 15% increased damage. That's a multiplier. So I think that's going to solve a lot of that issue. Yeah, you might not have any corpses, but you're doing a lot more damage than you were. So, like, that's the thing about just spewing out opinion without playing the game. Y'all see, is it starting to make sense? Or am I just taking fucking crazy pills? Because if you just sit back, you notice my videos don't do that. I don't immediately go out there and change something's ass. I sit here and I learn about the game.
2 corpses nearby.
That's why you don't have that certain
damage
thing.
reduction. With no corpses nearby,
They
you deal
nerfed that
15%
because of
increased damage.
this.
I mean, either way, you're getting some bonus. I think this is going to be a no-brainer. Remember, I believe you can get up to like 4 at least for most of these. Okay, that was Scent of Death. That was we either take or deal more damage. Next up, we have Bone Graft.
God,
Hitting
this is
enemies
gonna be
with
fucking
bone
badass.
skills increases your damage by 1% and your maximum essence by 3 for 8 seconds. Stacks up to 7.5% increased damage and 22.5.
Can y'all help me to understand?
Like I said, it's a little bit less interesting when they
Everybody's
cap you, 'cause,
saying that this is made for casual players. Can y'all help me understand that? Because that's not what I'm seeing at all with this.
Yeah, like I said, that other one, the consuming corpses, because it consumes
I don't
all the
consider
corpses.
myself a casual.
You can maybe get to like, I don't know.
This
like,
is not
someone's gonna
something
make a
that I would be
YouTube video
like-
and get like thousands of
Hell
percent
yeah.
increased damage with that corpse skill, legendary node. So that's Bone Graft. Next up over here we have Blood Begets Blood. So this one makes so blood orbs grant 5% increased damage up to 15% for 5 seconds. So maximum 15%. Like the other one's 40% and it has no cap.
Looks like eyes, 2 eyes, a nose.
Crazy.
It's pretty
All
cool.
right. Next up we have Blood Bath. So it says attacks that are guaranteed to overpower deal 50% increased overpower damage. I believe with the Blood Nova, there's like every 4th cast gets that guaranteed to overpower. I mean, 50% increased overpower damage can be pretty good. So this might be good for certain builds if you can get a lot of overpower. And then we have, I believe this is the final one, Wither. So this makes so your shadow damage over time effects have a 5% chance to deal 50% bonus damage each time they deal damage.
Damn.
This chance is
Does that
increased by
stack?
1% and the bonus damage increased by 2.5 for each 50 willpower you have. Okay, so again, I like it when you can start stacking and making builds around specific legendary
me too,
nodes.
brother.
Okay. So I'm also curious to know down below, guys, which class you guys think has the best legendary nodes. I can tell you for sure, Necromancer #1 spot for me, the Sorcerer in the #2 spot in terms of like how fun it's going to be. A lot of these do have a lot of limitations, but this is part of the end game experience. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and learned something new. If you guys enjoyed it, drop.
That's actually really fucking badass. Now the question will be, how many boards can you? So there's 200. Let's figure it out. Shit. So you have to start over here. Paragon starting node. Okay. Lord. Plus 5% life, plus 75% armor. Plus 5% damage, plus 3% life. So I want to go damage. Let's go intel, willpower, 1% damage, 5% damage. Life, damage. Now the question is, only used 15 of them. You actually have to path your way. You got to path your way to here? You can't just pick random ones, can you? You got to path your way. Y'all let me know if you know better about that. Let's see. Willpower. Intelligence. Alright, let's just path our way for... Oh, resist all? Look at that. Another 5% resistance if all elements are met. Alright, so let's do that. This one's plus 5% damage, so can you go this way? Plus 7 intelligence. Plus 1% damage. Now, we're just trying to see... Damn, I want to take both of those. Alright, so we've unlocked the board now. This is the Earthen Skills one, but see, you can rotate these now. Remember that. So if you want to get to this particular aspect a little faster... And what's this glyph? Okay, that glyph's going to send something around there. Y'all, I think, for God's sake, I think this is a lot more in-depth than these people are even realizing. This glyph socket holds glyphs that have different attributes that do different things and can actually affect a radius around that glyph. So you can put all kind of different shit in there that you level up. See, but I want this earth skill damage too, so... Oh, yeah, there's a lot to theorycraft here. Alright, so we're only at... We did all of this right here. And we still got like 269 or 169 more points to use. So I was kind of worried if we were going to run out of Paragon points, but we can actually come over here and go to the next node pretty damn quick. Let's rotate the board some more and see. Armor. See, I want this. This is going to be a puzzle. And you're going to have to decide. Okay, because you see, I want this Crushing Earth node. But I can't really get to it efficiently, right? So you're going to have to choose which one's going to go here to get you to this one so you can rotate. See, look. Where's it at? Is it right here? Oh, shit. I just figured it out. I can actually go this way and pick it up here. Actually, no, I don't think so, because I still have to get here. See, this is where your lack of depth comes in. You're going to have to figure out which Paragon board piece goes where to make it the most efficient way of use of your Paragon points. So, see, I want to unlock this legendary node, which gives me 30% increased damage to crowd control enemies using my Earth skill. And I want to unlock the rare node Crushing Earth, plus 5% Earth skill damage. But they're on opposite sides, I mean, almost across the board from each other. So, thank you, Art. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Like, everybody's talking about this ain't in depth. It's pretty in depth to me. But you're going to have to... Okay, so what board is this? This is the... I'm going to have to learn the names of these damn boards. And it's not going to tell me. Come on, dude. Are you serious? Okay, so that's one thing they need to improve on. He needs to put the damn name of the thing on here. Alright, so you're going to do... Was it Thunderstruck? Nope. but this could be a way to get here. But, you know, it's just going to take you sitting here and looking at all these. So there's storm skills. So that was Thunderstruck. That's going to be obviously a storm skill thing. And then you got Earth and Devastation. So that's the one that I want, is Earth and Devastation. And then you're going to want, what is Survival Instincts? Werebear. Okay, so this is another one we're going to want. So let's rotate the board around. There we go. Boom. We can get to this one pretty easy. This is plus fortify generation, 5% damage reduction. Okay, let's do this. Damage reduction while fortified. Well, if you've watched my druid videos, you know we're going to fortify. Just gonna take all of those. Willpower, dexterity. I don't know how much dexterity we're even going to need, to be honest with you. I really don't know. See, I live out in the country. I live on a dirt road, and they've got the damn scrapers. Like, literally, I have a little shed. It's a little man cave. And they're literally right behind the shed scraping. And it's loud as hell. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but... Oh, look at this battle-worn hide. Grizzly. Hell yeah. Alright, y'all. Yeah, I don't think you can connect diagonally either. I think it's just kind of a bug in the thing here. Okay, y'all, I've got to go to the bathroom. It's time for my morning glory. Here's a brand new video I'm gonna put up, and I'll be right back.
Everything I worked for.
And y'all don't go anywhere, because this has been fucking awesome.
The Diablo 4 development
Alright, I'll be right back,
team has
boys.
been teasing us with some truly massive announcements. And there's also a wealth of intriguing information about PvP, news for the overlay map, ray tracing and much more that I've compiled in this video for your viewing pleasure. My name is Game Sensei and this channel is all about looters, open world games and RPGs. If you're as passionate about these topics as I am, consider subscribing to stay up to date with all the latest news and developments. Let's kick things off with some fantastic news from Blizzard. Diablo 4 has officially gone gold, meaning the game has entered the manufacturing phase. For those unfamiliar with the term gone gold, I've tracked down an explanation from Global Community Development Director Adam Fletcher. It means the game has made a master gold disk for manufacturing, thus the game can be replicated and go into manufacturing or print for distribution. Since PCs exclusively receive digital games, this is now a console exclusive feature. So there you have it, Diablo 4 has officially reached the final phase of development. Any further changes will come in the form of day 1 or post-launch patches. But rest assured, vanilla Diablo 4 is in production. Definitely good news. Now let's dive into one of the community's most significant recent concerns, the respec costs in the recently released endgame trailer. In an interview with Games Radar about PvP in Diablo 4, developers also addressed the cost of resetting your character. According to lead game producer Kaylee Calder, the numbers we saw in the trailer are final. That's 11 million gold to fully reset the Paragon board at launch. However, the devs make it clear that we'll earn enough gold to ensure the numbers don't appear as scary when Diablo 4 releases. So that's a little sigh of relief for all of us, confirming what many of you have already suspected. The interview about the Fields of Hatred, by the way, continues to be quite captivating as it progresses. So make sure to stick around until the end of the video if you don't want to miss out on any of the juicy PvP details. Let's move on to the overlay map, which I discussed in my last video. It seems that the absence of this feature in Diablo 4 was intentional. Dynamite on Twitter asked, "A map overlay did not make the cut, could we see it in the future, Rod? Pretty much every ARPG has one nowadays." Rod Ferguson goes ahead and explains, "Never say never, but honestly our hope is to keep refining the map system so that we find the right solutions that don't require covering the entire screen with a map." So there you have it. Don't expect an overlay map anytime soon. Diablo 4 aims to keep the user interface as clean and uncluttered as possible. A neat feature I hadn't noticed in 90 hours of playing the beta is that you can set a waypoint on the full screen map that will guide you to your destination. Honestly, I didn't expect this at all in an ARPG. It's an incredibly cool tidbit, and I have Steven from the comment section of my last video to thank for bringing it to my attention. The gaming artist asked on Twitter, "What's the performance mode for Diablo 4 on Xbox Series X? Also, is ray tracing going to happen?" Rod Ferguson replied, 4K 60 FPS with HDR on Series X. Ray tracing is a post-launch feature though. While I'm really surprised that 4K 60 FPS with HDR is in fact the performance mode, it's a good thing to know that there are plans for ray tracing support even if it comes after the initial release. Now let's talk about a subject that was also discussed in my last video. Shields for barbarians and a potential tease for a new class. Rod Ferguson clarified, "I wasn't trying to tease, I was just trying to say that the reason that you didn't see anything about barbarians using shields was because we're leaning into the weapon master fantasy of them using 4 weapons and so they can't use a shield. Sorry for confusion." I think that's great. To me, barbarians are the ultimate frontliners who rely on sheer willpower and strength to withstand anything, making shields unnecessary. If at some point a paladin is introduced, that fantasy of wielding a shield will be served too. Until then, you'll see me slicing through hordes of monsters with 4 weapons in hand. A good question that I've been asked several times already comes from Oscar on Twitter. Do I need to play the previous Diablo games first? Rod Ferguson replies, "You do not unless you want to just for fun." So if you're new to the franchise, first of all, welcome, and you can dive right into Diablo 4 without having played the previous games. And if you've enjoyed the video up to this point, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated and really helps me and the channel. If you'd like to support the channel on your next game purchase, check out my partner Instant Gaming for the best prices on, for example, gift cards for your respective store. The links can be found in the video description. This way you save some money while simultaneously supporting the channel. Either way, thank you all for your ongoing support. Now let's move on to the 2 biggest topics of this video. Adam Fletcher has reminded us on Twitter of the developer update livestream on Thursday, April 20th at 11 AM PDT. He says this will be a big one, aiming for 90 minutes
John, I don't understand,
deeper in endgame, class and dungeon beta learnings, and more. Lots to talk about. So I'd say get popcorn and your favorite beverages ready.
Secret reveal,
but
huh?
Rod Ferguson also chimes
Was
in
it clickbait?
saying, wait. However, the devs make it clear
The prices everyone noticed in the recent in-game deep dive are final. It's funny to hear everybody cry about gold, to be honest with you. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. Oh, did anybody watch the Billy Mitchell shit from last night? What is this? Man spends $50,000 on a single Gmod server. I don't know what Gmod is, but I gotta see what the fuck this is.
Want a lawn that looks like this, but your lawn looks a little bit more like this? Then you should click right here and check out True Green.
So the other day I was going through the cesspool that is my Discord message requests, and I saw that someone had sent me a link to Gaming Light's top donators
Discord
leaderboard.
mess
Now, if you've seen some of my videos, I'm sure you know that I'm familiar with this police RP server.
Had to slow him down.
What the? Okay. Really, man? Really? Wow. What was that for? I have it on clip as well. I have it on clip as well.
So when I clicked on the link, I was expecting maybe the top donator to have shelled out maybe like a couple $1,000s, but no. The top donator had 46,450. Now, I wasn't sure if this was dollars or maybe in-game credits or something like that. So I tried asking on the Gaming Light Discord, which I was promptly banned from. So then I tried asking the top donator themselves, which we're going to be calling Moby for the rest of this video. I tried getting into a VC with them to ask them, well, is this real money, credits, what is this? But my friend request was denied and they never responded. I guess I shouldn't be surprised by this because he couldn't admin sit when someone joked about him money laundering. Luckily, I was able to get into contact with a long-time staff member of the Gaming Light community. They told me that it is in fact $46,000, not credits.
Wow.
In fact, they actually used to have a $sign in front of the top donators leaderboard, but they actually removed it, I guess, to create more ambiguity, to make people think maybe it's credits.
Imagine having that kind of money you could just spend on a video
the
game.
person's donated. So it makes me ask the question, what the was this person spending all their money on? So I went to the Gaming Light store page and oh boy, there's some great items up for store there. We've got the I Like Your Cut G swept for $8. If that doesn't tickle your fancy, you can get the Bart Simpson dab swept for $10
for that?
Or if you're a real high roller, you can spend $100 to get a warn wiped from your account. You know those warns that admins hand out like Tic Tacs on the server? Yeah, that costs $100 to get removed off your record. Oh yeah, they're only wiping warns of 3 years ago for some bizarre reason. So if you had joined the server within the past 3 years, I guess your warns can't be wiped. I don't know why.
Wow.
Really confusing. I don't quite understand the thought process behind that. But if you want to know the real big ticket item that Mobius spent the lion's share of the $46,000 on, it's the custom job package for $100. Well, you may be asking, how do I know all this? Well, Gaming Light actually requires you to make a public forum post whenever you've purchased a custom job package to get it approved. So we're actually able to see Moby's full purchase history on custom jobs from the 17th of June 2018 to the 15th of December 2022. So I spent the next few hours sifting through all 35 pages of Moby's forum posts, and after individually checking all 934 of his posts, I've worked out that in total, Moby has spent roughly $35,000 on custom jobs over the past 4.5 years.
Wow.
Me. But it says on the custom job page that they only cost $100 each. So you might be thinking, does Moby just have 350 custom jobs on the server? Well, no, the money actually goes to all the additional fees associated with creating a custom job. What game is this? Here on the custom jobs template, we can actually see what these additional fees are, and oh boy, they are some great deals. Player models can cost anywhere from $100 to up to $300 depending on the file size. Car models are even worse. They range from $425 up to $850. They try to justify these insane prices by claiming it's due to preserve the performance on the server, which is a load of... Do you really expect people to believe that a 5 megabyte model would cripple the server to the point where you should charge people $25 per megabyte? But yeah, the price gouging doesn't end there. If you'd like to increase your walk speed by a whopping
this is just for God's sake. I'd rather watch fucking somebody piss money away on Diablo Immortal. Alright. So did anybody watch King of Kong? If you were watching my stream last night. Because if you ain't, you need to watch it. God, it's so hard to even click on. Like, because you know this right here. You know it's clickbait, but let's see.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So let's get to yours with an SUV like the Ford Edge.
Blizzard recently gave us a glimpse into what they have planned for Diablo 4's endgame.
No, they haven't, because the Diablo 4 live stream that actually tells us all this shit is tomorrow.
Now, there are some...
Oh, which, by the way, let me tell you right now, tomorrow, 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific, 11 a.m. Pacific, you be back right here tomorrow. And we're going to live stream the developer live stream, if that makes sense. We're going to live stream the live stream. So come hang out here. Don't go watch it over there. Come watch it here. And then we'll all talk about it. What's up, Doc? Ooh.
Good ideas. And then there are some that I think will need a little bit more tuning to really make an impact in the ARPG market today. So let's get things kicked off with a classic, and that's World Tiers. So after finishing the campaign, you'll gain access to a capstone dungeon, which you need to complete. After you complete that, you're going to gain access to your first world tier. Then you complete the next capstone dungeon, and the next world tier will unlock, and so on and so forth.
There's only 4.
Now, these world tiers will unlock new features and item rarities for you to discover. For instance, at world tier 3, you'll start seeing unique items. Then at world tier 5, you'll start seeing sacred and ancestral items.
Hell yeah,
now, for me, I think world tiers are a good start. They give players a sense of progression and
dislikes
milestones
don't
to
do
work
anything,
towards.
though. I mean,
Busy parents and college students can feel like no matter how little time they're playing the game, they're still making progress. They're working towards that next world tier and unlocking something. While hardcore players have something that makes them feel like they're hitting checkpoints and racing towards endgame systems. So for me, this is an entry into endgame that every single player is going to experience, whether they're casual or they're hardcore. And this is something that they're going to interact with. So by making the barrier to entry incredibly low, they're allowing more people to get started on endgame without feeling like they need to have a large bank of knowledge or a supercharged build. It's definitely a gateway to keep people playing without asking too much of them. Now, to me, this speaks volumes to the way they want to handle Diablo 4 and make it stand out against other action RPGs that are on the market today.
It's so
from what we're
fucking
going to cover
funny
in
to
this
listen
video,
to the
this is an
different
everyman's
opinions.
ARPG, one that anyone can enjoy,
Hell yeah,
which
Doc.
I do think is a good thing. Now, outside of world tiers, we also have
All
something
these
called Nightmare
different
Dungeons.
opinions are
So each
fucking
world tier
hilarious.
is
So,
going
like,
to
one guy says something, and then this guy says another thing.
unlock new Nightmare Dungeons, which are special variants of regular dungeons that have the difficulty cranked up, but so are the rewards. Now, these special dungeons will have affixes to make life more difficult on the players, naturally, but they're also going to require additional objectives to complete. Now, in order to get into a Nightmare Dungeon, you need a key called a sigil. These can be crafted at the occultist, and not all sigils are created equal. Instead, certain sigils will unlock certain groups of Nightmare Dungeons. So you'll need to visit the correct dungeon to take on the Nightmare version of it.
See?
Now, the example they gave of an affix is called Hellgate. These are portals that'll appear randomly and pull in various enemy types into the battle. So you might be in fighting demons, and suddenly you see all these goatmen appear. While I don't really think this is going to move the needle too much, it's still nice to see a different variety of enemies suddenly appear that bring different abilities and different traits to the table. Now, dungeons in Diablo 4 beta felt incredibly medium. They were not great, they were not horrible, there were nothing to write home about. But they did give players something to look forward to, something to discover and something to complete in exchange for rewards like loot and legendary aspects.
What was so great and notable and noteworthy about dungeons in Diablo 3? Did we even really have dungeons? No, you had a map that you went, or you had like, let's think about this. Let's think about this logically for a minute. Let's go into endgame, and let's think about the pylon in town that you click. Okay, so you click that, and you got two options. You can do a Nephilim rift, or you can do a greater rift. Now, if we go even further back, let's go to Diablo 2, and you really, the only dungeon that you farmed bosses. You didn't farm dungeons. You farmed bosses, for exception of the pit and a couple other places along the way, looking for gear. But, you know, you farmed a boss. It evolved into Diablo 3 in-game, which was you had to do these Nephilim rifts to get keys to open up greater rifts. Okay? Perfect. So why are we saying there's no depth with this? A dungeon's just one of the ways that you're going to do, but these dungeons actually have keys that you have to unlock, which is similar, but they've got different mechanics and aspects and stuff that spawn on it. Okay. To me, that's a huge improvement over... How many maps would you get in Diablo 3, guys? Doc, you might know. What was it, 10? Keeps, commons. We could look at T-HUD real quick and see. But let's say 15. Okay? 15 dungeons. 20 let's be liberal and give them 30. There was 30 variants. We all know this ain't true. Because how many times did you get keeps? People want to talk about complexity and randomness. How many times do you get keeps or Pandemonium Fortress, shit ass maps like that. And how many times do you actually get fields or something like that? Not as often. So I will destroy that argument instantly for the people that say the dungeons lack depth. Well, they tried to give you a bunch of depth. You cried about it.
Now, having nightmare variant of these dungeons sounds interesting, and I do applaud them for giving players
Crypto,
a
I'm still
way to
shocked you playing
rerun
that
these
game, dude. I
instances for
can't
better
do it.
loot, and a reason for the developers to recycle content to extend the progression table. Now, I'm not overly sold on how fun or engaging these will be. If nightmare dungeons don't provide a little more complexity or variety towards endgame, then this entire system may not be as big a hit as they're hoping. Now, I'm withholding judgment until we get in there, but I'm just voicing my concerns. Outside of nightmare dungeons, we also have something called hell tides. So hell tides are areas of the world that have been corrupted by hell and have attracted more powerful enemies, along with environmental threats. For instance, they mentioned a helltide area with powerful demons to fight, all while being bombarded by meteors that you need to avoid. And then as you go about and you slay these supercharged enemies, they're going to drop a currency that can be used to open special chests that are littered throughout the helltide region. So for me, how do I kind of feel about this one? Well, it all kind of goes back to when I first started Warhammer Online Age of Reckoning, and I came across a public quest for the very first time. I was both surprised and impressed by how well it worked. It added a little bit of random chaos into my day, and it gave me something to kind of keep an eye out for. Instead of just zoning out doing quest chains, I needed to stay alert. Helltides reminds me a lot of this. There's a lot of potential here to do some really, really cool stuff to keep players on their toes. And because these Helltides might be pulling players away from something they're doing, the rewards need to be worth the effort. From what they're describing right now, this system does seem pretty basic for an online game these days. I mean, having an area where enemies are stronger and certain conditions are applied is a novel idea for 2006, but not for 2023. So just like Nightmare Dungeons, I'll withhold judgment, but there doesn't seem to be enough meat on the bone here to really make it interesting from what they're describing. Hopefully there's a lot more to it.
Can we just let's be real again about this, and y'all might like this or might not. There's nothing really, I don't know. There's nothing really novel about it. It's just I just want another damn Diablo game. It doesn't have to be like, yeah, I want some new shit and I want to experience a new game and I want some new stuff, but I don't want fucking Path to Exile in a Diablo box. I don't want that. I want another Diablo game. So it's fine for me if the game still plays like Diablo. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be. I think if we gave it a chance, it doesn't have to be super fucking groundbreaking. If we just play it, it might be. I mean, hell, we're getting a horse. Maybe I'm just simple, but we getting a horse. I think nobody's talking about the strongholds. I think that's going to be my personal favorite. Is the strongholds, where the strongholds, either they morph into a town or they morph into a damn another dungeon that you can't unlock without doing the stronghold. Like, that was where I had fun and it was challenging. Not fuck the dungeons. Who cares? What about strongholds? Where's my reset stronghold button? Damn it, I want to reset my strongholds. That's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to make a video bitching about stronghold reset.
So we have Helltide, we have Nightmare Dungeons, and we have World Tiers. The next thing we're going to talk about are the Whispers of the Dead. This system is going to serve players bounties that they need to go complete. And as you complete these, you're going to collect rewards and items to return to the tree. Upon turning these items into the Tree of Whispers, you'll be presented with a few mystery prizes to choose from.
Yeah, same,
Here we
dog.
can see a one-handed weapon,
Felt
boots,
same
and
way.
gauntlets to pick from. These are the same coffers that toss out a few pieces of loot once you open them from your inventory. We saw these in Diablo 4 beta. So my take on this one. As someone who used to spend hours and hours listening to music and grinding bounties across a variety of games, I'm okay with a simple system like this. Get a task, complete a task, get a reward. It's a simple loop that seems like it should be quick. It offers players who may be short on time to still make progress. Bounties are a simple, effective system that should be added to complement other in-game systems, not be a primary one.
Now,
so
I'm going to touch on it so I don't sound negative. I personally don't. Okay, let me start again. So let's put this in the correct context. I hated the bounties in Diablo 3. Let me put it that way. I thought they were stupid, inefficient, and took a lot of damn time for no fucking reason to give you a bunch of items to craft shit, which you had to do, and re-roll, reforge, or whatever. that annoyed the dog shit out of me, because then it's 100% based on RNG when you go to the blacksmith and craft, or go to the cube and reforge. So I like that. While bounties are annoying to me, I might not mind them in Diablo 4, because you actually get a cache of weapons or armor or whatever that drops. So that might be worth it, instead of some crafting materials that's just going to give me shit. Now, granted, there's probably shit in that box. It's probably a giant box of certified dog shit. Most of those items in there. But it could be a box of really badass items. You just don't know. But so that's why I might not have a problem with doing these bounties, but I couldn't stand doing bounties in Diablo 3. I absolutely motherfucking hated it. And you had to get in a party, and you had to do all 5 acts, and like, I don't know, you want to bitch about some shit, bitch about that, because whoever thought that was a good idea, and these guys that are bitching about the battle pass, like, dude, if you're trying to craft a primal fucking, let's just say guardians, because I'm a little blitzed right now for my wake and bake, and I can't remember the names of everything, but let's just say you're building you want a primal guardian's helm, that shit'll take you forever to craft, and the amount of bounties that you'd have to do to get that shit is astronomical. And we bitching about an 80-hour battle pass, where most of us played 60 hours on the open beta weekend. I'm not talking about early access. I'm talking about, so if you think about it, what was that? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days. We played 60 hours. And y'all don't think you're going to get through the battle pass pretty fast? Fuck the casual players. If you're going to play this an hour a fucking week, you're not in this discussion. We're talking about Diablo players.
Add depth and complexity, Whispers of the Dead is fine by me. So let's talk about PvP really quick. So Diablo 4 will offer PvP players an end-game system, an end-game area that they can go and basically murder each other in. They're called Fields of Hatred, and they're areas located in the world where you can fight other players and collect unique currency known as shards that need to be purified before you can use them. Now, in order to do this,
there
you need
is
to
something
take them
like
to an
that,
altar
dog.
and perform a ritual.
I think we
Doing
just
all
all
of this
overlooked it.
while
We were too
fending
busy
off players
resetting
who are
dungeons.
notified that you're attempting to purify shards.
But there is a
To me, this
board
is
in
very
town, like
similar
a
to the Dark
whiteboard or
Zone
something.
in Division,
Not a whiteboard,
where you go
but a
and collect
bulletin
loot,
board.
and you need to extract it before you can use it. It's the same concept. Now, once you make it out with your shards, you can visit a town and chat with a vendor to then purchase cosmetic items and rewards. So my take on this one, like I mentioned earlier, this works like the Dark Zone in the Division. It's immediately what I thought of.
No, didn't
As
play the
someone who
Division, I don't
isn't
know.
a huge PvP-oriented person outside of like arena shooters, I really like the idea of these areas. Let me explore, collect, take some risks, have a heart-thumping experience trying to purify some shards. It sounds like a really good loop and something that I would be a fan of.
Oh yeah.
Where I can see this going off the rails is in the cosmetics. If this is a primary source for cosmetic gear that players feel as being gated behind competitive content,
Where have they said in any way, shape, or form that you can get cosmetics from PvP besides achievement on the battle pass? I don't think they've said that at all, right? Or am I just imagining that? I don't think, and I could be wrong, and I'll admit it if I am. I don't think this is going to go off the rails. I think it took them so long to clean all that egg off their face from Diablo 3 with the and Diablo Immortal. Now that I think about it, I keep forgetting that Immortal's a Diablo game. The egg on their face from 2 subsequent releases like that in this series, they don't have a choice but to make it badass. And I'm sure they so damn good. The executives are so damn gun shy about what they're putting out. But if y'all didn't see, it was actually certified, classified gold or whatever, like they used to do back in the day. That was announced yesterday. So it is ready for launch. It will be launched. There's never been a delay in the Diablo series since the announcement of a launch day. They've never once ever. That's a common misconception in the community. When they announce the day for a Diablo series, they have never, not one time, ever extended the game past that. They've never announced, hey, we're pushing it back to launch day. They've never done that. They never will. It's already ready to go. It's ready to go press. We are getting it in 41 days. It's coming.
there's going to be an uproar. But if there are ways for players to earn unique cosmetic gear in both PvE and PvP content, I think the opposite happens, and this becomes a sort of a symbol of badassery of you're that individual, you're that player that went in and managed to get all these shards and collect nuts.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Cosmetic item. So they need to be careful with this, but it's one thing that I think will be popular, and I think PvP players will really
I can't wait to do. I want to do clan battles.
So
is what
we
I
have
want to
one
do.
last system to talk about in terms of endgame, and it's a progression system. And this is one that I think has a lot of mystery still surrounding it, and a lot of people are placing a ton of weight on this system to sort of fill in the build complexity, build depth gap that we saw in Diablo 4's beta. That was one of the things. Everything seemed so simple in the Diablo 4 beta when we were level 25. But a lot of players, including myself, are thinking, well, with Paragon boards, we should have a level of depth that gets added to our...
I'm going to beat this like a dead horse. When you can level to level 100, and you are saying that the game feels simple. Okay, so here's a better analogy. Your grandmama's baking cookies, and she's 25% done with the cookies. Are they going to be good? No. They're going to taste like shit. Well, okay, let me use a better analogy. Spaghetti, because some of y'all like cookie dough. If grandmama's making spaghetti, and she's 25% done with the spaghetti, you're going to criticize the fuck out of that spaghetti, aren't you? You're going to say it's bland. It had no taste. The noodles were hard. The meat was raw. It just really wasn't very good spaghetti. That's because you fucking ate the whole thing. When it's all done and it comes together and it's cooked and it's marinated, it's ready to go, and you hear the dinner bell go off, then grandmama's spaghetti is fire as fuck, right? That's how ignorant saying something like, I would have, if I had edited this video, I would have been like, damn, that's a dumbass thing to say. And I'd have clipped that out. Because you just said it felt bland at level 25. Well, your wizard felt bland killing Andariel. Your paladin felt bland trying to go into the fucking tombs in Tal Rasha. That was in Act 2. You were still struggling in Diablo 2, but all these Diablo 2 fanboy tryhards forget that. Because for so long, they've watched Mr. Llama and done his little fucking miracle speed run, whatever he's come up with, because that's not the way that I played the game, which is fine. I might be a shitty Diablo 2 player. Played it for 20 years. But this is just way better. I don't understand it.
Character. So let's talk about what Paragon boards are. So as you reach level cap, you're going to gain access to the Paragon system, which gives players a plethora of nodes that grant variety of different stat bonuses. You have small nodes that grant minor stat bonuses like plus
exclusive
5.
cosmetics
you have
for
larger
PvP.
nodes that give new
I'm sure
passive
it's like
effects and
a
large stat boosts. And as you near the edge of a Paragon board, you'll be able to
I'm sure that's like a achievement though, right? Kill 5 players in PvP. I'm sure it would be something like that, I would imagine. Not that like you kill them and they drop a cosmetic. I guess I'd need to figure out what that is. Crypto, I got a guy in my clan that's downloading PoE. It's too much. Like, we got 40 days, man. Like, I'd rather sit here and watch videos with y'all until then. You know, we got the developer live stream coming up. Who knows what else treats they're going to drop on us. And then it'll be here before we know it. But 40 days to play PoE? Fuck. No, I tried that already.
Choose the next board that you want to snap onto your existing one. And you can even rotate these to make sure
I
you're
did not
starting at
play
the best
any of the
spot to
Quakes
reach the
either.
node that you're
I
after.
did not.
So from what we know so far, each level will net you 4 Paragon points, resulting in a grand total of 200 Paragon points before you are maxed out. So unlike Diablo 3, Paragon points will be capped in Diablo 4.
Thank God.
So let's talk about the different types of tiles you're going to see in Paragon boards. One, you're going to see normal tiles. These are your basic white tiles that provide small bonuses like we mentioned earlier. These are those +5 to stats. Magic tiles are similar to normal tiles, but they're going to provide larger bonuses for the player. +20, +15. Then you have rare tiles. These are going to provide large boosts of power and will provide additional benefits once the player reaches a certain attribute threshold. There are 6 of these per board, and they're usually something you want to prioritize.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then we have legendary tiles. These are found at the center of the board, and these are going to provide a new legendary power for you to unlock.
Yeah, like I was showing y'all earlier, this is where you're going to have to kind of figure out
on Paragon boards that'll provide a
how
big
you want to
boost
put your
power.
Paragon board together.
You'll also come across glyph sockets. Now, glyphs are dropped items that you can then socket into your Paragon board that'll provide bonuses to any tiles within their radius. So if you look at this screenshot, for instance, you can see in the right corner, this player has a glyph equipped that's affecting a number of tiles around it. Now, we don't...
Now, let me back that up so we can look at that. Where's the lack of depth? I think we, as my community, and if y'all want to get into this together, I think we should come together and demand that these guys issue a public apology that cut this game down so fast after eating 25% done spaghetti. And no one really laughed at my analogy there. It kind of hurts my feelings, but, you know, like, think about that. Mickey fucking Mouse! Yes! Hey, I can tell you Southerner because of your name right there. I use that fucking saying all the time. And people are like, oh my God, he just called that Mickey Mouse? I'm like, yeah, I did. We're just on here bitching about these people crying about the game. Look at this radius of effect on this glyph. Once you get one of these glyphs unlocked, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, so 4, 4, 4. So it's going to be 4 diagonals
around it.
So the glyph goes 1 out, 3 out. Okay. 1 out, 3 out. So it's going to look like, if I'm not mistaken, this is what that effect's going to look like with a glyph power. 3 up. Yeah, we could be up here, actually. That has 3 up and 3 down and 3 to the right and 3 to the left. So it's 3 up. There's 3, 3, 3. Okay. This is probably what, I could be a little wrong, but that's based on the way that looks. This is how many things are going to be affected by that by this glyph. Appreciate the follow there, 1 up. So, yeah, that's cool.
Now, we don't know exactly what this glyph does, but we do have some examples of what magic and rare glyphs can do. And the other thing is,
y'all, I just want to say thanks for hanging out with me this morning. It's been badass.
To affect more tiles.
We obviously like sitting here talking about the game more than we like watching me play some stupid ass game.
Over and over every single season.
Last night I played Gold Rush and I requested a refund in 20 minutes.
Over time to help keep things fresh and provide new ways for players to spend Paragon points. So how do I feel about the Paragon system from what we know so far? I'm really kind of conflicted on it. I'm going to wait to see how it works because on one hand, I really like the amount of progress that's laid out before you as like a newly capped player, sort of like a new frontier. It feels like you have a lot of choice and you have a lot of variety to really like make your character stand apart from all the other characters in the world. But on the other hand, you're staring down the barrel of a ton of small +5 bonuses with some larger worthwhile nodes sort of like peppered across each board. And if you removed all of these small minor nodes, the +5 ones, and just consolidated them into single +30 nodes instead, you would be left with a much smaller and much like less impressive board. And it wouldn't be as visually stunning in terms of potential build variety either. But the same could be said of Path of Exile. So for me, it's not about the small nodes, it's about the journey to the larger ones.
So like you literally, you can, this is why these, everyone's like, damn Hog, why are you so fucking mad and all this? If you take anything, if I take a cup of coffee in a mug and I take the fucking coffee out of it, then I can say, well, damn, that mug sucks because there's no coffee. Like, that's how stupid this shit is. If you look at a piece of content and you say, well, damn, that ain't shit if you take the +5, the 50 +5s that you can put into shit there and make your character really fucking strong or really fucking smart or have a lot of willpower. We still don't know how this mechanics are really going to tie into our character yet. So that's another thing. You're talking about shit you ain't got a fucking clue about. So we're just going to, here's the board, here's how it works. If you take away half that shit, it ain't shit. It sounds like what some dumbasses down here would say about some shit. I mean, that's literally what it sounds like. And what's sad is they speak like intellectuals, but the stuff that comes out of their mouth is trash.
Now, I like to make incremental progress. And
I played the fuck out of SnowRunner, Mickey. I'm talking about
legendary aspect, where that rare
played the shit out of it.
And remember, each level will get you 4 points. So you're not going to be stuck with a single +5 node when you level up. You'll be able to get
What's up,
at
Pierre?
least +20 worth of stat boosts, or one of those larger nodes per level. So it's going to be worth your time. It's not necessarily going to feel like each level is going to be a waste until you manage to finally turtle your way all the way up to a large tile.
I feel like
makes sense.
Like some of these
I like what they're trying to provide
play
here,
Diablo.
but until we see some more examples of boards and we really get our hands on this thing, I can't say one way or another if this system is going to flop or be a worthwhile system that's going to make endgame something that you want to actually participate in. So what comes next, right? We have all this endgame stuff.
See what he says about seasons.
In the current industry, live service games are the thing. Getting updates, things coming down the pike. There's always something new that's happening. How is Diablo 4 going to stick with that? After the game has gone live, they plan to continue adding content and more systems for players to enjoy. We heard about seasons. They're going to add new gear, Paragon boards, features, additional systems, perhaps even DLC that'll expand the world. At this point...
All right, so listen. Mark my word. 4/19/23, 10:25 Eastern. There will be an expansion next year or 18 months after release. There will be. They've done it every time. They did it with Diablo 2 a year and a half after release. They did it with Diablo 3 a year and a half after release. They will do it with Diablo 4. If you notice, there's no Paladin/Crusader class. There is no Monk/Assassin class. Did you think they were stupid and forgot about those? No. They actually leave those out on purpose so they have 2 characters to bring in on expansion. Same thing with Diablo 3, Diablo 2, they brought the Necros in. They're going to do the same thing with Diablo 4. They're going to bring another piece of the world that's going to open up. It's just how the game goes. I guarantee it, signed, sealed, delivered. There will be a fucking expansion in a year and a half that will bring all of these 2 extra characters, at least 2 extra characters, and another aspect to the map, and something else. Mark my goddamn words.
I'm hoping we just have a decent launch and that Blizzard has
exactly
a lot of content
for
players to chew through.
So after this, we're going to finish this. I'm going to ramble real quick, and then we're going to I'm going to find the fucking video. But I believe it was Riker, I think. But he interviewed a former Diablo 3 developer, and this man sat there and outlined the entire process of how everything works, when they can do adjustments, when they can't do adjustments, when they make the decision about what character to leave out for the expansion. The expansion's already planned. They already know that. So they're doing all of this by design. They released the beta. Now they get us Jones into where we're literally there's 30 of us sitting here right now just talking about fucking D4. That's how bad we're jonesing looking at content. So they know that we're dying. Then they announced they're killing off seasons for Diablo 3, which I told y'all was going to happen, and everyone flamed me and said, no, it's not. They have a separate team. It's a 10-year-old game. It's fucking done, and now it's official. So a lot of y'all owe me an apology. Well, probably not y'all, but a lot of my channel owes me an apology. Yeah, see? See what I mean? The Paladin, so if you go back to Diablo 1, not to jump around topics, but if you go back to Diablo 1, the Warriors, Paladin, was there. They're not going to, it's a core class. So it's going to be in the fucking game. It's going to be there. It's just going to come where you have to pay for it. Whereas they give us the Necro this time to make everybody cry, and then when that shit comes out in expansion, everyone will go buy it. It's all a business. They forget that it's a business. They think this is like going to school. But anyway, they sat and I'm gonna go find this video. But they sat there and they actually debated in Diablo 3. They debated Monk versus Crusader. Which one were they gonna hold back? Or Necro. I think it was those three. And they decided which one are we gonna, do. And one guy was real partial to the Monk, so he wanted it in the game. So that's why we saw Monk go in the game, Now, you're gonna have to give me a second. I gotta find it. But this guy talked about Diablo 4 just destroyed its casual gamer by making them go play other games. Oh my god. Yeah, so there's your answer, Mickey, right there. Alright, where is this shit? This was 10 months ago. That was... Okay, so I found this guy, Veiled Shot. Have y'all seen him? We're gonna have to take a little. What the fuck is this? The cry is always real play. I'm curious to see. I found this guy. Where'd he go? Verified Shot. And he was actually really positive. He kind of had my attitude, so I want to hear what this kind of clickbait video is. And we'll see if I still like him.
Video. I like to talk about Diablo 4. I personally believe it's a really, really amazing game. I gave it an 8 out of 10 out of the beta, expecting it to, have a lot more for the end game. But a lot of people have a lot of varying issues with
play. It's hard to know which video you're talking about, because literally it's a snowball. So somebody will put out a video and then everybody just follows that exact same clickbait ass title. So I literally have seen probably 15 videos that say Diablo 4, they finally fixed it. So like, I don't even know.
The game, some reasonable, some not so reasonable. And I want to talk about what that's done in terms of the community and the overall outlook on Diablo 4. And you might say that it's just a minority, don't listen to the vocal minority. However, I would wager that it's actually not necessarily a minority in a sense. It's not a small
Mickey, you don't like this guy?
It might be a minority of the entire audience, but it's not a small group. We're talking about tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people that feel this way and are perpetrating this sort of narrative about Diablo 4.
He needs mustache work.
Now, the first thing I want to talk about is what I consider
if he could get it,
problem. What do I mean by the beta
full
problem?
and luscious?
Well, I mean everyone seems to have figured out the game.
Might look better for him. I don't know.
Has gotten a set perspective or judgment. And to be fair, I myself am slightly included in that, although I've constantly.
Y'all, if you can't grow facial hair, just don't do it. Just PSA for y'all. If it doesn't, not saying mine's gorgeous, but if it doesn't fill in.
Constantly said, I think there's going to be a lot of different improvements coming in.
I used an analogy earlier.
Actual launch, but
we played 25% of the game.
Negative outlook or perspective.
If you went to your grandma's house and she was in the middle of making spaghetti and you ate her 25% complete spaghetti, would you say it was good?
Based on this.
No, you would say it was bland, it sucked, it lacked depth, the meat wasn't cooked, there's no spices. So it just does not make sense. When you know that at 100%, grandma's spaghetti is fucking the most delicious shit you ever had. So commenting on it at 25% doesn't make any sense.
This post has
Dollar store Jon Snow.
5% dislike rate as of recording this video, and I'll show an example here. It may be even larger now.
Yeah, I get that, Mickey. I mean, so I'm a people person. I get along with the devil. I could sit here and talk to my green screen and carry on a conversation.
Like some of the Diablo
that's why I guide for a living. I carry people like I literally have people that I've never met before. I've never met these people, and I get them in the boat, and we act like we're best friends. And I take them fishing, then I drop them back off, and they pay me money. So I can sit here and talk to this camera like I'm doing. I'm looking into this camera's eye like, I love you, Lord. It ain't no thing. Some guys are extremely nerd. Not everybody, like my old lady, she couldn't get up here and do this shit. But I feel just at home, sitting here drinking coffee, smoking a bowl, talking shit about Diablo. I don't give a fuck if there's 27 of y'all or if there's 0. So you could tell he's nervous. You know, I can't fault him too bad because this shit is not easy. It's a lot of mental thing. You don't want to get up there and look stupid, and especially my dumb ass. I get out here, y'all see 100% of how I am. No barriers, no nothing. So it is a little nerve-wracking sometimes. You don't, but hell, he's got a lot more subs than I do. I shouldn't be saying anything.
I remember when they were releasing their kind of press releases.
No, Michael.
Diablo
no.
Dislike ratio is extremely surprising.
The fucking witch doctor. No, because they don't want to play it, and they'll still make it trash or hard. It's not trash. It was just so fucking hard that I couldn't play it.
I think a little bit of a meme, but honestly, a lot of people actually agree with this, and that is the Druid Paragon board should have plus 17 damage.
I'm gonna have a fucking meltdown. You know, I talked about earlier in stream the problem. Here's the fucking proof right fucking now. This is the shit I'm talking about. Why do you get so fucking hard on Rax? This is why. Look. This is a reference to his stupid ass fucking meme build. 17 damage fucking druid. And so this asshole is fucking commenting on it. It's got 1.9 thousand upvotes or likes. And then this guy has actually included it in his video. How many views? 6.8 thousand. So all 21,000 subs of his are going to be exposed to this. You see what I'm talking about? And then it snowballs into an effect to where it gets back to Blizzard and the whole community goes, the Druid's trash, because of one motherfucker made a goddamn meme about it because he didn't know how to play the goddamn Druid. Mr. Expert God King of Diablo, I played a fucking Druid. It wiped ass. I played with other guys that had Druids that almost one-shotted the fucking boss. That level 35 fucking boss. So, like, that's why I get so heated, because this shit spreads like a fucking cancer, and it needs to be stopped. Stop this bullshit, lies, spreading shit around the fucking internet, because you suck at the goddamn game. That's why I have a fucking problem with Rax, right there. You want to know why? And that's bullshit, and if you fucking defend that, and you defend lying about how much you fucking stream, then you can fucking go on and watch his shit. It's made for you. Because that's bullshit. You see it right here. I don't care, dude. People don't see. See? I'm not taking it as a fucking joke. And there's 2,000 of them that don't take it as a joke. And this fucking guy puts it in. You got to be careful about shit like that. Did he come out and say, I'm just joking? No, he fucking said multiple times that the Druid was trash. And then during his little 8-page Mickey Mouse cocksucking fucking routine that he did, it was talking about, the Druid, that's all that they fucking buffed out of my list that I give them. They didn't do anything to the Druid. Oh, okay. Yeah, stop the I mean, I hate to sound like the government, because that's what the government always says, stop the misinformation. But stop the bullshit. It's not misinformation, it's bullshit. It's lies. How about stop giving them a pass? How about stop just fucking letting it go and comment on every fucking thing they say and call it the fuck out? Because nobody has a problem calling me out for shit that I do or shit that I say, or calling a spade, or saying, or questioning something like, hey, I don't think it's possible for you to stream that much time and still be a content creator and still have all these other obligations, because I'm a content creator too. I know what it takes to make content. So, like, just to call it out and say, let's just be honest with the community. We already know you're still a good player. You don't have to fucking lie, boost 20 hours of playtime. It's just, it is what it is. Stop the fucking bullshit. This is bullshit. There was absolutely, positively no motherfucking reason right after the beta to come out and make a video about this druid does 17 damage, it sucks. And I've seen it all over the fucking internet now, and it spreads like a cancer, because the guy has 100,000 subs. He has 41 million channel views. He's got to reach. People fucking hear what he says. A lot more than they hear what I say. So it's easy, if I had that kind of channel reach, I could go and say, Diablo 4 sucks. And 10% of my viewer base would agree with me. That's a lot of people. They know exactly. You're right, Twisted. You're right. They know exactly what the fuck they're doing, and they're doing it on purpose. And when I get out there to call them out about trying to keep people playing these old games, keep their channel base up, people go, this guy's fucking ridiculous. It's blatantly obvious. Maybe my IQ's higher, like, and that's offensive to people because they think, because Hog talks like a fucking Southerner. He is a Southerner. He's born in fucking Georgia. He's got to be stupid. You know, they don't realize, like, I'm not stupid. My dad's a fucking software engineer. You know, my dad actually built a Windows protocol, an operating system protocol, before there was fucking Windows, and had it fucking stolen and shit from him back in the piracy days of software. So, like, I do know things about things, just I conceive shit that makes sense, and, you know, I put shit together, and it's hard to get shit past me. I'm just not gonna bullshit you. And so I'm just gonna call it out. But that's a problem. When it's spread this far, sorry to get on my damn soapbox, but that shit makes me fucking hot.
So I'm not gonna read too much into this, but I think a lot of people actually are just hardcore flaming Blizzard for the Druid imbalance in terms of the leveling compared to some of their classes. The second one here.
You know what I got to say to that? Get good.
For the dungeon door to open.
Get fucking good if you think there's a problem with Druid leveling.
That we found in the beta. Granted, I do think there is
Yeah.
I guess you could say,
you've played 25% of Necro. You don't know, Necro could suck it in game. You never know.
Right? It is constant.
All I know is Druid got a bunch of boosts, and you got some nerfs going on. So while you're crawling around looking for corpses, somebody have any corpses? I'll be in Werebear just fucking everyone up.
I don't think it's anything too different from a lot of other games. For the
corpses,
part, right?
please.
For example,
does anybody have any corpses?
Stats the whole way through. But if you guys actually do a deep dive, which I actually have done on the Paragon system, each board has 6 rare.
No, I ain't dissing Georgia. I'm shit. My family's been here since before the Civil War. I'm just talking about people have that assumption. And you know that assumption about some people think Southerners are fucking stupid automatically.
Attributes. So this isn't even a proper.
And it's actually to our advantage. You know, it's a tactic you can use because they'll underestimate you every goddamn time. Every time.
In the video.
Second you open your mouth, they're like, "Oh, this fucker's stupid." I've had it happen millions of times in my life. It ain't no. It's just it is what it is. It's a stereotype.
But what the point of this is that everyone's coming in.
Yeah, Zill, that's my mission right now, is to call out all this fucking hate.
A lot of these criticisms, they are mostly true in that.
Yeah, the companion druids are nasty. The werebear's nasty. The werewolf's I haven't really played too much with the werewolf, but one of the guys said it was pretty cool.
In the Paragon tree.
But now that they've made companions even more powerful, Lord,
because we haven't really experienced that in the beta. But that leads me to my next point, which is managing expectations.
Okay.
And I've said this numerous times, and some people seem to disagree with me. Like, no, the game's actually not meant for that audience. I don't know where that perspective's coming from, and that is that Diablo.
Do you have any corpses for me?
Players' audience ever since Diablo 3. Diablo 2 is definitely one of the more hardcore audiences, but remember that game was made back in the 2000s, early 2000. I think it was 2002, if I'm not mistaken.
2001.
And that means that during that time, the gamers that were even playing weren't casual gamers for the most part. The people that were playing games were more.
And what's funny, y'all? Here's the funny thing.
In order to own,
I went back and I was playing some D2R, and I immediately noticed things that are lacking there. Like if you compare D2 or D2R, same game, minus seasons. It's the same thing. Like defeats the season argument right there. But if you take D2R and D4 and look at them side by side, they are very similar games. D4 has the improvements. I mean, very similar. Like you walk around in the Den of Evil. The Den of Evil, yeah, it's Act 1, so we're going to compare Act 1 to the beta because that's basically what it was. Den of Evil feels just like any of these other dungeons. There's not a massive amount of monsters. There's a okay amount of monsters, just like in the world. There's an okay amount of monsters. The playstyle just feels a lot like D2.
PC to play these games, you actually needed to invest some time and to acquire those resources. Whereas now, having a computer, having a console is so common.
Yeah, Storm Druid. I know the Elemental Druids are supposed to be stupid, but I'm a Werebear fanboy. And I've got a build planned
appealing to those more hardcore player
that's going to be like a hybrid support with a damage
Diablo
dealer.
3 is a pure arcade style game where
if
you
it'll
can
do what I want
play
it to do.
it for a couple days and max out the entire game, every season that is. And I think that that's a good thing for the average player. The average player only has a few hours a week to even play the games. And so logging on to Diablo 3, running a couple rifts, logging off is the ideal situation for a lot of these people to not feel like they're becoming super, super far behind. Now,
I cannot disagree with that.
But keeping the game's systems...
I cannot disagree. I think that if we start basing the changes on the game, and that's what the problem was, is he just a Diablo channel or is he a... Well, see, he says he's a Diablo channel. But does he do other games? I just want to see. Okay, he does all kind of other games. This guy just makes a bunch of different videos. All right, so what he's trying to appeal to, we don't care about that. Right? Oh, Werehog. Holy fuck. Dude. Fucking hog. That's what I'm talking about. You're a fucking genius. God damn it. Is this the second idea you've given me? Where's my notepad? Hold on. You son of a bitch. I gotta write that down. God damn you. So if you go in my Discord, one of my community members over there actually photoshopped my face with my hat on onto the druid's face, and it is fucking hilarious. And he's got it like talking and all this shit, and it says like Druid Lives Matter and all this. So like, head over there, you'll laugh your fucking ass off. Shit's hilarious. See, yeah, we were going to prove the dummies the reason it did 17 damage because he was bad and undergeared. He made that shit on purpose because I feel like this is a conspiracy coming out. There's a conspiracy theorist type deal coming out. But I feel like he didn't know how to play that or didn't like it, so he didn't want anybody else to play it. So he made a meme about it, killing the fucking game off. Like, if you don't play a certain class or don't know how to, that's fine. But you don't kill the class off for everybody else and then force the developer to make changes when the guys that know how to play it don't want that because they know how to play it. You just didn't take the time to experience it. Some people have just gone fucking blind, like blood drunk or some shit. It's crazy. People forget how this is a grind. The game has always been a grind fest. You have never been able to play any Diablo game, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4, and fastly level yourself. Do you know what it... Stop thinking about power levels or any of that. None of that. Think about what it took in Diablo 2 to level from level 1 to 99. Majority of y'all never even got to 99. Remember? Nobody fucking talking about that. And you're going to guaranteed get to 100 and then have all these Paragon points. Some players never got to 99 in Diablo 2. Never. And then you go to Diablo 3, some players never did a 150. Some players never saw a 3000 Paragon. So, for them to talk about, I don't know, man, it's just managing expectations, fucking 1000%. All of the expectations needs to be fucking managed. Because we're looking at this, I don't even know where it's coming from now. I mean, I really just don't understand. We have an advanced game with horses and strongholds and new towns to build, or like, you know, the strongholds turn into towns or dungeons. There's just so much shit to do. There's PvP besides just, y'all remember what PvP in Diablo 3 was like? You walked over there and you clicked on Mr. Brawler Man over there in Act 1, and you went into a very small area, and that was it. It was Mickey fucking Mouse as fuck. Like, sorry for my language today, but God almighty, it sucked. And this, we're going to have all kind of shit to do, and they're still bitching about it. They could come out and say, the game is fully customizable. You can play it however you want to. Literally, there's 10,000 sliders in the game. You can fix the game how you want to, and they'd still bitch. Oh, you shouldn't be able to let everybody play the game how they want to. Like, it is just non-stop fucking garbage that's coming out. I can't wait for fucking tomorrow. By the way, again, we've got some new people in. Tomorrow at 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific. That's the developer live stream. Your boy Hog here will be live streaming the live stream. So we're going to have like a conference call, okay? So if you want to watch it with me, I'm not going to pause it and be stupid and talk over it the whole time unless they piss me off. Yeah, no, really what it is, Crypto, is you're in the grocery store with your mom and you want a new toy. And you're such a fucking baby that she says she'd take you to the toy store. And she buys you a little toy in the grocery store. You know, the shitty toys in the grocery store? She buys you one of those because you're such a spoiled brat. Not you, but the community is such a spoiled brat that they need something to tide them over. So the mom buys them this piece of shit toy, little sample toy. Let's say a handcuff set. And the handcuffs really ain't that great. But it gets the little shit satisfied long enough to take them to Toys R Us. Then they go to Toys R Us, and little shit's already broke the handcuffs, said that he's bored of the handcuffs. He doesn't want the handcuffs. It's boring and all this. But then when they get into the damn Toys R Us, and the mom buys them the $100 fucking policeman set that's got the belt, baton, gun, all that shit. I don't know if they still make all that shit. I had that when I was a kid. Then he plays policeman for a fucking year till he outgrows the suit. I'm full of all kind of fucking stupid adjectives like that, but I told you, Mickey, when you came in here, I told you that I use that shit. And like, so I used to work at Dick's Sporting Goods like a long time ago. Maybe a couple years ago, 5 years, 4 years ago, something like that. And one of the guys fucking was obsessed with goddamn Disney. I mean, loved Disney, and that's fine. And I'd say, well, that's some Mickey Mouse ass shit. And he'd go, what's wrong with Mickey, man? I'm like, dude, come on.
Simplistic, such as the Diablo 3 Paragon system, or potentially the skill and rune system, or giving set.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. I feel bad for the developers of this game. You know, they probably don't get paid as much as some other guys do, and they take a lot of shit from this community, and they can't have, like, they probably cry themselves to sleep at night because they know that nothing that they do, this fucking savage ass community is gonna be appreciative of.
Way larger than
nothing.
The average hardcore audience. Why is that? Well, the hardcore audience can only be, and when I say hardcore, by the way, I mean people that play a lot, can only be a small portion, because if you are not in that hardcore area where you want those harder difficulties, those harder skill trees, the ability to do all this different content,
do y'all think he's underestimating the player base a little bit?
In the game nearly as much.
Let me hit pause, and I want to see more than like 2 responses here. We got 33 people watching. I'm curious here, okay? Mickey, you can like Mickey. That's fine, Bubba. It's fine. I used to work on cars, and my mentor said that shit a lot. and it's just, I hear it a lot in my head. It's Mickey fucking Mouse. Do you think the player base, Diablo player base, so we're talking about 2 and 3 combined because they're all going to come to 4. Do you think that player base is more casual gamers, or do you think that's more Diablo players? Because I think if you were to take all of the Diablo players and put them together, you would have a large number of players, and B, they would all be Diablo players, not casuals. I think everything, let's say it looks like this, I think outside of that scope would be the casual players wanting to come in, but I think he's underestimating our player base a little bit. I think the Diablo player base is fucking huge, and I don't know, to cater to add shit and cater to make it easier to people that aren't even gonna really be playing the game that much after launch, just think that's not very wise.
Is usually typically much larger in most games, but some people disagree in that the game is designed for that casual audience, and I would say,
and I guess that's another question, is what defines a casual?
Like, hey, we don't have a lot of uniqueness in these dungeons. We don't have a complicated skill tree.
I don't think the game appeals to casual players.
+5, stats.
I don't think any of these games appeal to casual players.
These are all indicative of appealing to a more casual audience, right? Making the game more simplistic and easy to understand, while also getting a lot of value out of it, right? So I think that a lot of people are super negative because they're coming into this game and they want it to be something
I like
that it's
those,
not, which is the new Path of
viewpoints,
Exile, or the new really complicated Diablo 2 with rune words and all that stuff versus Diablo 3.
Coyote, really that is perfect right there. Okay, let me stop again and point this out. Coyote made a great statement. I'm a casual player, but I only play Diablo. We're going to see a lot of that. Okay, so let's ask Coyote, perfect question, okay? Does any of this turn you off as a casual player? Does anything that the game, from the 80-hour battle pass to the leveling to any of that, does any of this turn you off? Seasons, any of that turn you off as a casual player? That's what I have a question. Because she's the perfect blend of what we're talking about. A Diablo casual. That's what I want to know, how she views that. So we'll give her a second. She'll tell us what she thinks here. So, but is anything that they've said right now, the Battle Pass completion time, which is 80 hours, which keep in mind we were able to do 60 in the beta weekend. Early access, I'm not talking about the week, I'm talking about Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We easily could do 60 hours. See, right there, no. Oh, so Michael, I just found this guy yesterday. Okay, that's Dion says, I only play Diablo about 8 to 15 hours a week, and I think I'm hardcore. I understand the game and have, okay. So 8 to 15 hours. So Dion, has anything that they've said about the battle pass being 80 hours to level a character, all that, does any of that turn you off? Play, yes, it will be just like any other Diablo game where you'll have your off season, your regular non-seasonal, and then you'll have your seasonal tunes. See, y'all are fucking so awesome. Cone says, beta was my first time playing an ARPG since Fate on old Windows XP. You're talking about old school there. I guess I'm casual, but don't need it dumbed down. See? And that's where I have a problem with this argument. It's not just him. I'm not trying to attack this guy, because he's been very positive about the game, and I don't think we should attack guys that are positive about the game. But everybody else that ain't been real positive has said that the game has intentionally been made for casuals and it's dumb. It's easy. That's not true. And see, and then you got players like Zell that'll have it all done within the first 2 weeks. Same with me. Same with a lot of the guys in my community that they play every single day for multiple hours. And say, I don't want to call it blessed, because it's not easy and it's not doing very well because this economy is terrible. But when you work for yourself, you're able to do shit like that, right? You're able to play. I could play 8 hours if I wanted to. It's just the way that it goes. So there's so much. The community is so different. It's hard to say this game's just made for casuals because your definition of casual might be different. There's no set definition if you were going to look at what defines a casual gamer. You know, oh, he has to play under 15 hours. You never know. You know, you could get a holiday. Casual gamer could sit down on a weekend. His wife might go out of town, take the youngins, and he sits down and grinds out for them 2 weeks. I mean, there's still players that like my buddy Alpha. He's a damn dentist. You know, a fucking real person, you know, educated, has a practice, has a family, has a life, you know, whatever, all of that. He still plays, still finds time to play 4 hours a night. So you're going to have those players. I never even downloaded Diablo Immortal. Like, the second that they said it was a mobile game at BlizzCon, I was like, don't have to fucking ever worry about any updates on that game. Yeah, see, that's why y'all are just proving my point. I love y'all. Y'all are just proving my point that it's so hard to define a casual gamer, so you just make the game. If you play Diablo, you play Diablo. And that's where I try to come in, and because I like to say I'm a casual player. I guess the more that I invest into my channel, it's not going to be that way. But that's why I try to bring guides and stuff from my point of view, because it's not all one-sided. I hate the dentist too. I think, you know, he lives in Cali. And I think, you know, I actually trust, you know, like the guy, I trust him, and, you know, whatever. And I hate dentists. So I think, you know, if I need teeth work, I'm going to fly over there and get my teeth done, because, hell, I like the guy. But, yeah, okay, so let's see what else we got here. What's a channel that I ain't found yet? Ooh, what is this massive divide Asmongold? So this is about to be like trifecta video.
Bags are 25% more durable.
We're gonna
massive divide.
We're gonna watch. We're gonna watch Asmongold watch somebody else's channel. Oh, that's funny. Hold on a second, guys. Huh, that was weird. Oh, you're in Cali. Are you in LA? Because if you need a dentist, I can hook you up. All right. Yo, sorry, I heard a dog barking outside. That was kind of, there's no dogs around, so I was wondering what the hell that was. Yeah, that's right, Kay. D3 on the Switch. Hey, is the Switch any fun? Yeah, that's right, Twisted. You've got the four-way. Watching me, watch Asmon, watch somebody else. Oh. All right, where is my damn... There it is. Let's see if we can... All right, let's see what Asmon's got to say about this.
In the Warhammer. In the Diablo 4 community. Here we go. I guess this is raids. Let's see.
If this is your first time, welcome to Legendary Drops. My name is Ian. I'm
Hey,
a construction worker by day and a gamer by night.
Holy shit.
This is my hobby, and damn it, do I love it. Diablo 4 is also something that I love. It is a game that is near and dear to my heart. I have a lot of special memories with the game, growing up with it, and it's likely the same for many of you that are watching this video right now.
Diablo 3. Yeah.
It's difficult to
Oh,
watch
you and North, okay.
something
Yeah.
that you love
You in the
change
good
over
part.
time, and Diablo is a game that has changed a heck of a lot. It's painful, and at times we feel a little bit betrayed.
Huh?
Because if it was working before, why can't it work now?
Because it's not. That's why. I think that a lot of games, like, it's easy to say that, oh, well, you know, it worked well in Diablo 2, but, like, how many people are realistically playing Diablo 2 right now? People always go back and they look at old games and they're like, oh, why can't things be like this anymore? Well, because everything's changed.
Well, that's because it's going to work better. All right, so as I eagerly await the release of Diablo 4, I find myself unable to stop looking at content and watching videos, checking Twitter, looking for any news or
I get
updates
recommended
regarding
stuff
the
from
game.
Diablo 4 all the time,
The
too.
devs are hard.
No, so the reason, okay, let's address this. I did a little research on Immortal because I wanted to know why. So I don't know if y'all ever saw, I did a video a couple months ago about, you know, when Blizzard split off from their publisher in China. That publisher does a lot of mobile games in China, and I think that was a secret partnership. Because there's a lot of shit in business that happens that they don't talk about. And I think that they had a meeting with the Blizzard and their publisher in China and said, hey, there's an untapped market in China. They love mobile games. It's an opportunity to make a quick cash grab. And I think that's what we saw. Now, yeah, there was a lot of backlash in this country about it. But I don't think the backlash was like that in China. And if you notice on the press release, when they kind of parted ways with that particular publisher, the exception was with Immortal. They were still going to be publishing Immortal. It was just all these older games that really weren't making them any money. So that's why I say what I say about that. The Immortal was purely just a monetization thing, and every fucking company does it. Unfortunately, it's the state of video games in this century. It's just, it is what it is. I've actually watched that transition happen from, I remember buying PC big box games that had 3.5-inch floppies, like 10 of them. And so we went from that to, you bought a game, and that was the game you got, and tough shit, and you couldn't review it. There was no patches, there was no updates, there was no nothing. To now we have a live service where you actually don't get a physical copy of the game, but you get constant updates all the damn time. So anyway.
Hard at work, working on what is likely to be Blizzard's biggest release of all time. Something that's probably going to sell a heck of a lot better than Diablo 3 did, and that's really saying something.
Diablo 3, will it sell better than Diablo? I don't know. I feel like Overwatch was probably their biggest release of all time, besides like World of Warcraft. But like recently, it was definitely Overwatch.
But one of the things that I came across, and something that I've seen discussed amongst many members of the Diablo 4 community, is a lot of concerns regarding Diablo 4. And you know, those are my specialty. See, players aren't concerned about cash shop or the battle pass.
Yeah.
No. It's the multiplayer. I have seen a slew of debates and conversations where
yes,
Diablo
Asmund,
fans
it
are
is the
pitted up
multiplayer
against one another, arguing over multiplayer aspects, and the Diablo 4 development team's interest in potentially adding more multiplayer aspects in the future.
I think that they should if people like it.
Hold on, let's back up. Do y'all agree with that? Do y'all give a shit about Battle Pass? I mean, really, if they took the Battle Pass, if they announced tomorrow, we taking the Battle Pass out of the game, would you give a shit or not? Let me know right here. Tell me. Would you care? Or do y'all care more about what's multiplayer going to be like? Because me personally, I'll agree with what this guy's saying, not with what Asmund's rebuttal is. I would much rather fuck the Battle Pass. Like, yeah, I like cosmetics. God damn, my mustache. Sorry, I'm not trying to pick my nose. My mustache going crazy. I would say fuck the Battle Pass, right? And I would, God almighty. It's like a nose hair. Something's fucking me up. Sorry, y'all. I'd say fuck the battle pass. Try this again, and give me 500 clan limit. Give me 8-player party, 6-player party. Give me clan battles, PvP. That's what I would say. Who cares about the battle pass? So I agree 100% with this guy, at least from my point of view. I'd much rather have a badass multiplayer that we've never seen before than to have a battle pass that's going to give me a new wolf baby that's hanging on my shoulders or some stupid shit like that. Because in all reality, cosmetics are just cosmetic. They just hire an artist and say, paint some shit and we'll put it in the game. It's mindless content. They can sell it. It's a tangible good, whatever, fine. But as far as multiplayer goes, abso-damn-lutely make it, that's more important to me. See, nobody cares about the battle pass. Nobody. Nobody cares. So they could easily, I don't know why he's going to rebuttal this, but I agree with the OP here.
I feel like the worst thing to have happen with a game is for a game to get, like, the game doesn't evolve and doesn't adapt because people have created a definition for what this game is, and it ends up holding the game back. I think this happened with World of Warcraft for years.
Yeah.
And it was so bad for the game.
That's literally what I just said a few minutes
During
ago.
a recent interview,
I literally said if we have already defined the game, then it will never be allowed to be revolutionary or game-breaking or changing or new or whatever, because we've already defined the game and we've already put it into a mold.
a question was posted to the devs asking whether or not they were thinking about making raid content or...
So the multiplayer, again, it's always multiplayer. Like, there's one mode. You don't have to join a party if you don't want to. So I guess I ought to clarify that. Like, the game's always multiplayer. You don't have an option to where you just go play by yourself, and it's always online. It's always with somebody. I believe it's 12 it's in an instance. There's always going to be people in that instance. It's just the way the game mechanics work. But as far as, like, being in a party, I want to be able to party with more than 4. That's Diablo 3 all over again. I want to have more than 150 people in my clan because that's Diablo 3 all over again. Like, that's repetitive. That's, like, I would rather have those aspects be changed, which we don't know. We could find out tomorrow that those have been changed as well. But, yeah, I would much rather have them make the multiplayer experience badass, because I'm not a solo self-found guy. I did that years ago. I just don't want to do that again. I like having my community and doing shit. It's a lot more fun. I try to stress that, and I understand not everybody's a people person, but I try to stress with everybody, play with a group. You don't have to join my group. I might be too loud for you and obnoxious for you. So find some other guys that ain't. But you don't have to play by yourself. The game actually is trash by yourself. It's so much more fun walking around with an idiot like myself that shoots a deer with a damn spell and didn't mean to and kills it. He's like, this is fucking amazing.
Something that would allow guilds to take on the world boss as a group.
Yeah, that would be cool.
The D4 team ended up expressing pretty significant interest in the idea. However, as it stands, guilds are only to act as a social hub, a place for communities to gather.
I don't think it would really be a big deal in my mind if people were able to go as a guild and kill the world boss. Like, who gives a fuck?
But you already can do that.
In response...
So, like, that, we already did that in the beta. We actually found a way. Now, I learned this in Sea of Thieves. I don't know if anybody is familiar with playing Sea of Thieves. But if you wanted to get in the same, it's kind of laid out the same way. There was X amount of people that could be in a specific instance. Now, you had to server hop to get in an instance with your buddies, because there was no way, once you had 4 people on a galleon, your other friends couldn't join in, but you could server hop and meet in a certain area and see if you could get, it took some farming, but you could do it. Well, we found a way to do it here. You just left the party, you joined a party with your clan, you left the party, and then you invited some other people to the game. And it wasn't perfect, but a lot of times you could just about fill the instance with your clan. Might have a couple stragglers, but you could at least get 8 people in there. And there was many times where we had a whole clan almost in there killing the world boss. it would be a lot easier if there was an option for that, fight with a whole party. But maybe that's something I'll do a topic on, is multiplayer improvements, because nobody's talking about that. It's all the same recycled garbage over and over and over again. No one's actually making things like that could be changed. Multiplayer numbers, party size, clan size. Why can't we have a damn headquarters? There's all these buildings in Kovashad. Why can't we pay $1 million gold and unlock one door and have a fucking clan hideout or something in there? And that's the kind of potential, that's the kind of feedback that I'd like to present to Blizzard. Not put force move on my mouse click. Like, dude, no, we want shit like that in the game. We don't care about all this Mickey Mouse. You can't get crowd controlled. What if we could literally roll into an instance as a whole clan and kill the world boss, and then all roll back to the hideout together and chill in the hideout? There's items for everybody to have, all that kind of shit.
To this, many players were beside themselves, afraid that group-only content would ruin the game and make rewards unattainable for those who wish to play solo.
Yeah, I do think
On
that's...
the other hand,
yes, Delta 8 is the same.
Loved the idea.
Okay, I just seen that.
Unique encounters made to play as a group with unique rewards bestowed upon those who can organize and accomplish it.
Well, yeah, the reset dungeon button is gone.
I think
so
it's
that's
very
fixed.
hard to know where to draw that line. Because you're definitely right that a lot of people, like, the value of a game like Diablo is that you don't need anybody else to play it. You don't need somebody else to invite you to a group. And, like, for example, I think that obviously the best parallel to this is Lost Ark. Think about how many people stop playing Lost Ark because they can't get a group for Brelshaza or Vicus or Vulcan, or, like, whenever they stopped playing, or Argos back in the day. So, yeah, I think that's definitely a big problem. And
so I understand that some people are introverts and don't want to do that, but, like, there should be something he's talking about Lost Ark. I didn't play Lost Ark. But, like, if you had to do something with a community, then it should have some kind of auto pair system or auto party. I don't know. There's going to be fundamental flaws in every video game, because there's going to be some people that are just different personality types. Just like there's certain assholes that think it's okay to be a level 5 and go try to kill the world boss, right? But
so I don't know.
I guess my point is there's some things that we just can't fix because it's human. You can't fix human nature.
Diablo
like shit's
4
just
going
to have a fundamental flaw.
Now, I think it would be fine
human.
if Diablo 4 had raids and the raids didn't drop like the best gear in the game or something like that. But I think if it did, it would make all of the effort and time that you spend in the game outside of that raid just kind of subservient to the raid itself, because you're creating a progression cycle.
Matt Jestik Gaming Channel on YouTube has some great content.
Are so vastly different.
So, like, for example, if they went and they did imagine like a hard mode version of that Ashava world boss that we did in the beta. If they had a optional hard mode, like, for example, like Hell Vulcan, where it gives no actual gear, it's just a bunch of really cool cosmetic rewards, and you can get it if you clear it with a guild. I think that would be really cool. That's totally fine. I just don't think that they should make content that gives you power gains, especially exclusive power gains, that you have to be in a group to do.
They don't have that, though.
Single-player Diablo fans are looking for
They actually make it harder when you're in a party, so I'm confused where he's going with that.
Immersive experience.
Yeah.
Free of interacting with other players.
Well, exactly, and you look at the amount of people that are playing PoE. Most people that play PoE, that I at least see streaming it, are playing solo.
That's because
they're
streaming.
All playing solo. Like, yeah.
That's because they're streaming, bro. Do you know how hard it is to stream and have a fucking group going and Discord and talk to your group and communicate about the game and talk to your stream at the same time? That's why you're not seeing anybody playing a group when they're streaming. It's because they're fucking streaming. That's silly.
You have like Empyrean and like those guys that do group stuff, but like that's the exception, not the rule. Most people play PoE solo.
They want that single player
experience
where they enjoy the detailed storyline.
You can't. Okay, we're gonna go to something else. So I did a video about Asmon too. I was actually surprised on his feedback, but he's a PoE player. He said himself that, like, his feedback that he gave on the beta and stuff, and referencing Diablo 3, his Diablo 3 stuff that he referenced doesn't even exist in the game. Like, it's so outdated. You can tell he hasn't played it in a long time. So that's a point of view of a PoE player. So he's going to compare PoE. He said himself he never played D2. He didn't play D1. He's not a Diablo player. And that's just fact. He's not a Diablo player. So he's going to look at it differently and have different critiques and want to see the game made like he likes PoE. And that's understandable. But we always have to keep that in context. Context note here, he's a PoE player. So that's where a lot of that's going to come in. Play, you ain't missed nothing, man. Keep making that money. Watching the stream don't make you no damn money. It don't make me no money either, but it's all right. Oh, I wanted to thank you, by the way. For some reason, I missed your super chat the other day. And I just saw that the other day, so thank you for that, by the way. I don't know why I didn't see that. All right, so we're going to check out Matt Jestik Gaming, as Dion suggested, and let's see. I don't see any Diablo shit on here. Is it multi-gaming, this one? Yeah, see, but that's the thing, Kay. When I stream in a group, I stream the Discord also. And so I'll tell them, like, hey, you can't say the couple words, we all know what those words are that, like, Twitch doesn't like, the S word and the R word. But other than that, just be mindful. But it's chaos. But I like to do it that way. It's a real experience. It's not clean room. I love my necro comments. Keep going. Yeah, crypto, that's hardcore, man. I mean, that's hardcore PvP. You take your hardcore PvP character out and you die. That's why I don't play hardcore. I always kind of question, and this is just me. I'm not trying to say anything, but I always question a channel that has, they do one game and then they all of a sudden switch over. Gold bots and hacks, huh? Oh, this is another. Oh, God, I'm going to have a. Oh, I might have a field day with this.
Cut the cable with Verizon Home Internet and cut your internet bill to just $25 a month.
12 players versus 12 randoms. 12 players you know exactly, you're actually communicating, you know what their strengths, weaknesses are, what their character does, how they're going to attack the character. I mean, you can really get nerdy about it versus 12 randoms you don't know. They could be really good players, or they could be lost as last year's Easter egg. And so they could have no gear, no talent, no nothing, suck, be mouth breathers. Or you could have 12 guys that G-Haw with real will, have a good time, and you go in there and assassinate his ass. I mean, that's the difference right there.
Finally cut the cable, switch to...
All right, let's see if he can... Let's see if he's going to withstand my test. Let me move this so y'all can see it.
Welcome everyone. Today we have another Diablo 4 news digest. In this video, we'll go through a lot of information that was revealed by the Diablo 4 developers in the past 24 hours. They had been set.
Okay, so I don't. This is very Rax Inspire. I'm just throwing this out there, y'all. I hate the word background. Like, you can easily. Let me show you how easy it is. When like OBS, Streamlabs, whatever. All you have to do is crop it out. You see how I can do that? I can just crop all that out. All you have to do is just come in and just crop your recording screen like that. Like I shouldn't have to look at fucking your application the whole time. It just immediately turns me off from that.
Several interviews that we can see over here, including Game PC, Webfetch, and also Game Informers. So there's a lot of information that is floating around about Diablo 4. And I want to provide you guys with all the information that is available, and also a big warning, and also, reminder from the developers about the new storyline. And also the developers have been warning in several interviews about the extent of the grind in the endgame about Diablo 4. We'll be having a look at this as well, and also the potential to get to level 100 and how difficult it will be. On the second half of the video, we'll also have a look at some of the community information about additional customizations that was not available during the beta, including the lightning. So the first thing we have is a collective summary of information from Warhead. There were several interviews from the developers of Diablo 4. The first one we're going to go through is from Game Informers, and this one does, I guess, create a lot of interest and also confusion. So during the interview with Game Informers, the Diablo 4 developers has revealed that there will be new stories regarding to Diablo 4, and this will also be introduced every 3 months.
Right, so if you watched stream with me last night, you saw that one guy was just, and this was like new video, so like he knew better, but he was literally saying there's going to be new storylines every season, and that the people that didn't want to play story were going to be left out, and that's why they shouldn't be a character reset. And I was about to pull my fucking hair out. I'm like, it's a core Diablo thing. It's a core video game thing, not just damn Diablo, but when you have a season, everything starts over. That's how seasons work. It's not a real good, in my opinion, a good season if you just use the same fucking character. Does that mean you're really that good at the game? Like, people... It's like if you practice Kung Fu, do you immediately get a black belt when you go play Kung Fu, when you go learn Kung Fu, when you start studying Kung Fu for the first time? No. It's the same thing with video game. Like, so when seasons come in, you have to start over to show that, hey, I know how to play, because seasons are competitive. And so, like, people that don't want to be competitive, you don't play seasons. But there's not going to be new story. Like, that's a lot of money that have to invest in new stories. And then we'd be tearing those new stories a new asshole because they didn't tie in with the storyline, and then all the critiques and all the, well, actually, like all that would happen all over again. So they're not touching that with a 10-foot pole. They're just saying there's going to be like more cutscenes to introduce more shit, like, not new storyline, not main campaign. And yeah, see, devs clarified these quest lines are intended for introducing new seasonal mechanics. That's it.
3 months. Now later after this interview, several developers from Diablo 4 have revealed that those particular additional stories is related to the quest lines that will be introducing the new seasonal mechanics for Diablo 4, and it will not be about the main campaign. So you can see here from Rod Ferguson and also a lot of other developers have messaged this. They are talking about the interview that will lead to some misinterpretations of the article. And the highlight is that those quest lines are focused on the main season mechanics, not a new campaign. So a lot of us were kind of happy and really excited about new campaigns.
Don't get me started. I've already gone on my soapbox about it, Ranks.
And this was the first warning or misunderstanding that the developers want to clarify. Now the interview also goes further about the payment for the paid Battle Pass, and this was stated several times. The Battle Pass will have a paid version of the Battle Pass, which we'll talk about in the second half, and this will be 10.
Damn, look at his bar up here. It's all, I don't know if y'all can see it. My bad. Hold on, look at this. It's all Diablo. Diablo 4 guides, Diablo 4, Diablo Barbarian class, max roll, Diablo 4, Diablo 4. That's what I'm talking about, bub.
$USD for every 3 months of the new seasons. The developers during the interview have also revealed the new Nightmare Dungeon system with new affixes. So here 2 of the examples were given. The first one was an invincible lightning pillar which will be chasing players. And does this mean that we want to build more lightning resistance for this particular dungeon? I do think so, right? The second example of the FXs in the Nightmare Dungeon is a particular shade that will be chasing players, obscuring and also making us kind of blind with vision, and also summoning enemies around us. Now this also leads me to think about potential farming method and also grouping enemies method. Maybe we can use those summons for corpse explosion, or maybe we can group them for a special, mechanics that are.
Okay, let's skip ahead.
Now coming over to the next interview from Diablo 4 developers from Invent. Now the highlight over here is that the developers have stated that Reno system.
Oh, thank God! Looky here. Altars of Lilith will not reset at the start of new seasons. Thank God. I don't care if the renown resets, but I don't want to go collect all those Altar Liliths again. Oh yeah, I can't wait till June. I'm sitting here like we're looking at fucking YouTube and stuff.
And
like,
also Reno rewards will reset with each new seasons. And this will include potion charges, skill points, paragon points, maximum oboe charges, and also a lot of items that is related to Reno.
I played D2R last night for like
understandable because those items, if earned at the early start of the game, could make a player way too powerful, and this does take away a system in the game. The developers have stated that the Reno system in new seasons will be targeted and also designed to be less repetitive, so players doesn't have to do the same questing and everything all over again, and hopefully they do this correctly so we don't feel the repetitiveness of the Renos. Now the second highlight, which we have talked about this in the previous videos, is that the developers have also stated that the Altar of Lilith will not be resetted with the start of new seasons. And this, of course, was the intention to help players to speed up the process.
That is
with
one of the little
additional
concerns
stats and also
I had,
attributes that is gained from Altar of Lilith. And I do think this is a good system. Knowing that the Altar of Lilith will not change positions and will not have unique mechanics, once we do it once or twice, we really become repetitive going through this every season for every 3 months. And let me know what you guys think about this. Previously, we thought the Reno might not reset, but now the Reno will reset with new seasons. But the Altar of Lilith will not be resetting. Now, the next interview with the developers is
American Truck
Sim. I cannot pronounce the name.
I like that game. It's
so
just
here,
fun.
the highlight is that the developer have stated that maximum Paragon points will take a long
we know that
time
stuff.
to
We know it's going to take a
into
long
the end
time.
game. And yes, guys, this will be a persistent theme from the developers. Now, the final interview from the developers are from PC Gamers. Now, the highlight from this interview is that Diablo 4 is not a group MMORPG. The central theme of Diablo 4 will stay with action RPG, and I think this is very important. For me as a gamer, I have played MMORPG before, but I really want the feel for Diablo with action RPG. And the developers have...
The following transformation is real, but temporary.
Oh my God, I need that.
Guy can temporarily cover
man
grays,
mascara. Look at that. It's fucking man mascara.
Defined look for beard and brows.
This is what we turn it into, boys. Men mascara. Oh my God.
Stays put for the day till you wash it out. Transform your look. New just for men 1-day beard and brow color.
Holy fucking shit, we're wearing mascara now.
Tesla Model Y. Look what Ioniq 5
I'm
has.
blown the fuck away.
Doesn't.
Restated that all the classes can deal damage. It's not a holy trinity like MMORPGs with priest, tank, and also DPS, which is a good thing, because most of the time I'll be playing Diablo 4 solo, and sometimes even if I play with friends, we all want to do damage, right? So we don't really need like 3 people, 4 people. Just solo playing is really good for me. Now, in the interview, it goes on to reveal that the seasonal journeys and also seasonal classes with all the quests available in each of the seasons will take the players around 80 hours to complete. And knowing that there will be 3 monsters per season, what we can expect is it will take a player on average 1 hour a day to play the seasons, to finish everything in the seasons, and also exclusive rewards. Now, of course, we won't be playing 1 hour a day, right? In the first week, we'll probably play like 16 hours a day. Now again, guys, one highlight over here is the developers from different interviews are stating and also hinting that it will take us a long time to get to level 100 for all the Paragon points. So this is again a hint and maybe a warning for the players who want to rush for level 100.
That just made me think of something. Do y'all think they took away... They keep talking about how long it's going to take. Do y'all think they took away the reset dungeon button to prevent power leveling? I just thought about that for some reason. Nobody's really come up with a way to power level real well, of course, because the game's not out yet, but maybe that's a way to combat circumventing this 100, reaching level 100. There's going to be some way to break it. Ugh, excuse me. We just have to figure it out. Hey, do you think I should try some of that mascara? I got some damn gray coming in on my, you see right here and all. Right here. Maybe I should get some of that mascara. Yeah, that leads me to another problematic, made a real good point right here. No Holy Trinity, the players will not allow it. Looking for tank support, werebear, tank, shout, barb for Nightmare Dungeon runs. I think there's only going to be, I don't even know if there's going to be really supports. I think it's going to play just like Diablo 2. You didn't have a support. You didn't need them. Everybody was powerful, and everybody brought something, but I don't think you're going to have I don't think you're going to have them. I mean, the only two that I've been able to see, like you're talking about, a shout barb and a druid. That's it. So, a big Gandalf beard. Yeah, just tell him to, like, get two, and that's literally fucking mascara for men. What's next? They gonna be hide your acne scars from when you were a teenager with this new foundation, mandation, what they'll call it. No, I think they should get rid of the reset. That button should have they gave them a taste of something very dangerous. And I think that was a huge mistake that they made, putting that they should have never had that button in there, because it gave people a taste of something they never had before. And now they're mad. It's like, all right, I'm going to be real with y'all. It's like when I was 18, some opium came in. And I'm talking about, this was fucking real. Wasn't black tar heroin. This was opium. And just to be real, and we bought a little bit of it. And because the guy that had it is our buddy's older brother. He said, this is like once in a lifetime shit. So try it. Y'all, that shit is fucking awesome. Like, now I see why there's all these opium dens. You just take a little bit, lay it on top of your damn bowl. Whatever. I know it's sketch. Sorry. But I was mad when that shit went away, because I had gotten a taste of something that I shouldn't have got a taste of, and we could never get it again. I'm 36. That was when I was 18. That was a fucking long time ago. You know, it's 18 years ago. But I still think about that, and that's what happened with this damn reset button, is they got a taste of something they really shouldn't have had a taste of, and now they're spoiled, and they want that back, and they'll never have it again. Twisted, man. That's fine. We'll see you later.
And if you're planning a build, maybe plan to level 70, 80 or 90, level 100 can be very difficult for all the Paragon points. Now coming over to the second half of the video. So here we'll go through some of the community information and also concerns about Diablo 4. The first one we have is actually a particular post from Philly Uking over here about the open beta and also closed beta customization that is not available. So what he meant over here is, if we have a look at this particular Diablo 4 official gameplay showcase from GameSpot around the time of 2022, you can see the customizations for the sources and also different customizations that might not have been available during the open beta. And this does get us thinking, right? Is this a potential for additional character characterization at the launch of the game? And this is comparing with the open beta. Now, the second option could be that maybe players can earn different customizations and also different skins within the seasons and also the cash shop. I don't want to think about the cash shop too much, but we'll talk about it very soon. So this comes to the the point of the concern with community, whether the skins, cosmetics, will they be mostly free or will they be paid, and how much will you be paying for it? So coming over to this particular post.
Yeah, now opiates. Let me just excuse my nose wipe there. Let me clarify on that. Opiates, painkillers, shit like that, heroin, that shit's fucking dangerous, and I feel for anyone that's affected by that. But I'm talking about sampling some opium that you scrape off of the poppy. Like, this was like what you would smoke in an opium den. So I just want to clarify that, like, you know, yeah, it was probably dangerous to play with it, but I don't want to consider that like the same thing as like, you know, being hooked on opiates like painkillers, because that's very dangerous. I guess you could do the same. I guess it's being ignorant now that I have to say that shit out loud and I'm flaming other people. It's the same thing, right? But I just tried to use that as an example of something that's a taste of something you should never have a taste of, and it's great. You feel great, but it's dangerous. You know, like that's what that reset button is. Oh, so that's one of my personality traits is people love getting my ass fired up. They do it to me in real life, and I guess it's, I don't know.
And this is actually a poll over here.
I know what folks are doing doesn't bother me, so like I just give you the reaction that you want. It's fine.
Kick it down over here.
The good Lord put me on this earth to be a fucking clown and amuse people.
As a community, and how will things proceed? For me, I voted. I think they are, you know, honest with the words. Everything will be purely.
Is it really fine though?
I mean,
that's I'm trying to justify it. It's probably not really fine. It's still the same plant, the same avenue,
quality of life, including extra stash spaces and also character spaces and other things related to Diablo 4.
Yeah,
so
I mean, compared to like fentanyl and shit. Now we're also talking this almost 20 fucking years ago. The biggest concern, of course,
is what is going to be in the cash shop for Diablo 4.
We had enough for a couple bowls.
Can those become pay to win? Even though the developers have stated
but it was fucking
fire.
You know, I won't lie.
Sometimes just looking great with your skins makes you feel awesome, and you know maybe skill animations will be better.
The latest poll on Reddit shows that players are worried about quality of life purchases. How many fucking times do the developers have to say there are no pay for power? Well, I guess, no, let me stop right there. Hit the brake song. Let me do a fucking turn. Now that I said that out loud, that kind of helped me think about something. They have said, so maybe I'm wrong, and this is a valid point. They have said there will be no pay for power. They've kind of changed that up. Pay for power is what they say. So this might be an actual concern. But you know what? You're going to have a base game system, and you're going to have this. And you know what? Who fucking cares? If somebody's a big-ass hoarder, and he hoards more than you do, and he wants to buy a stash space for $2, who gives a fuck? It does not affect your gameplay in any way, shape, or form. So I guess that's the way that I should look at it. If somebody wants to spend money in a game, and because they're a freak, and they hoard every piece of item they have, so they want 50 goddamn tabs. If he wants to go spend $50 for 50 tabs, let him do that. Doesn't affect my gameplay in any way, shape, or form. That just means I have to do better inventory management. If he wants to go, which you could do this in Sea of Thieves, and so in Sea of Thieves, you could be killed by a plain Jane ship with a white sail, just as easily as you could be killed with the most badass cosmetic ship in the game. Didn't matter. Both the ships were the same. It's just one player felt like he needed to look more special than everybody else. And if you want to look more special than this guy, that's fine. And you know, in reality, I found that I got clapped by the regular ships way more than I did Mr. Flamboyant over there had to have every cosmetic. So as long as it doesn't affect my gameplay and give you an advantage over me, besides looking like something ridiculous, that's fine. Who cares? If they give you extra character creation slots, because this guy invested more time into the game than you're willing to do, who cares? Like, that's stuff that does not matter in the grand scheme of things.
So we have seen the teasers and also reveals with multiple skins and also sets with Diablo 4.
Thank you, Kay! Kay! Round of applause for Kay, everybody. Round of applause for Kay, because she actually admitted, I've said this a bunch of times in my videos, don't act like y'all ain't gonna buy this shit, Because Sea of Thieves got my ass on some badass ships, and I know they're going to get me. They're going to show some badass druid cosmetic, and I'm going to pull out my wallet immediately. And I don't have any goddamn money. They're going to get a freaking ton. Sebastian, I love that way of thinking too, but no, what about the Elefante over in the corner? D2 JSP. Is Diablo 2 not pay to win, technically? Elephant in the room. Can you not go to D2 JSP and buy an Enigma and buy all the runes that you ever needed that you can't find because the drop rate's so fucking ridiculous on them? Can you not just go buy those and get them? Yeah. You know why? Because I've done it. It's pay to win. So I think the whole pay to win argument should be thrown out the fucking window. That should be silenced. Because if you've ever bought something on D2 JSP, which is a high percentage of players on D2 and D2R, high percentage, because you're not going to wait your whole life to find a burr rune. It's not going to happen. There's been guys play the game 20 fucking years, still ain't found a burr rune. And these guys are going to talk about casuals. They worry about casuals. Shit. So, the game, Diablo 3 is not pay to win. Used to be with the auction house. But Diablo 2 is pay to fucking win, baby. So Mickey, that would be pay for power. So I don't think they're going to do that. It's just going to be cosmetic. They're going to get a ton of money out of me. And see, Carl, Michael, I'm hoarders too. But if they give you the option, like, there's been times I would have paid money for a tab space, but it doesn't affect you, then who cares? Right? I guess that's my point. Whatever your playstyle is, should matter to you. As long as it doesn't affect other players with bullshit power buffs, as long as it doesn't give you a boost, an unfair advantage over other people, doesn't matter. But I don't think having an extra stash tab because you've played more time and you just have more stuff that you want to hold on to, or you just have a problem letting go of meaningless items, you should be able to pay for that if you want to. I don't know.
Of course, currently
but
we
do know is the shit won't be cheap.
Those skins and also cosmetics.
We do know that.
What will be considered to be purchasable in the cash shop and also, kind of unavailable to the players that are not paying. Would the customization like here be a free for all players? And how much would those paid cosmetics be available for the players in the cash shop? Would they be costing $10, $15, or $20, or $30?
When did we morph into this view of the world that everybody has to be like? There's no. I hate to even say this. Not everybody is equal. As much as we want to make that, it's not human nature, and so there's gonna be people that are left out. That's how it is. Have you ever been in fucking elementary school and not get picked for the team? Like go to high school and not make the team? Like, that's the way the world works. Sometimes you don't get everything that everybody else. That's communism, is when everybody has the same shit. So, if they make a cosmetic that's not available to everybody else, you have to buy it. That's just the way that it is. Tough shit. Like, maybe somebody told me I needed a slogan for the channel. Maybe it'll be tough shit. That'll be the damn slogan.
It would be really absurd to cost over anything over $30, in my opinion.
I mean, give me a damn break.
Because the game itself is $80, and every season will come with new skins.
You don't need pets to pick up gold because you auto pick up gold when you walk over it. So I don't think they're gonna put pets in there because it's gonna put too much. I think that's why we're not seeing area damage either, because we don't want, and we're not seeing followers either. It's too much load on the system, I think. I just don't care about the pets. Was a D3 thing, and that was an attempt to make people go ooh and ah, I think. And I think that the just walking around it auto picks it. You don't need a pet. You are the pet. It's got like a 20-yard radius. It picks it up. If y'all don't remember, you don't need to. All you need to worry about is picking up items. Cash is not the gold's not the problem.
Imagine paying for, over $30 for one skin for one season and have to pay for more skins. So this is to be...
Yeah, some cosmetic
Glad
pet,
Force Flex
whatever.
max strength trash bags are 25% more durable. And they're
But would you rather have a pet or would you rather have no
When your bag
lag?
has a strength
So
to
that's,
keep
I
it
think,
together,
where
it's
the
better than all
concern
good.
would be coming in.
It's all
Even
fun.
though it's fucking 2023.
Hey, do you know where
I think there's a lot going on that having that extra stuff.
without us?
That you're
Debated.
talking about
And
12 extra pets in an instance. I don't know. Maybe that's just speculation. Maybe that's their way to try to reduce some of the lag in the game.
hopefully, if you guys remember earlier,
Cry
the
harder.
developers have
Yeah.
stated it will cost $10 for the premium pass, and hopefully the cash shop will not become excessively expensive if collectors want all the skins in the game. Now here, the additional concerns from the community is also raised about the extra stash spaces. At the moment, during open beta of Diablo, this is shown that we can unlock the open stashes with
Out of
gold.
all the
And
crying
this is a really
that
good
I've seen,
system,
I haven't.
because although
No
gold
one's
is a very
mentioned a
important
pet at
resource
all.
in the game,
Maybe
we
y'all have
still
seen it,
have
but
100,000 gold for the
that's
first
just human
unlock of the
nature. They're
stash,
always going to
and
want something or
200,000
wish
for the
you'd put
second
something
stash.
in there.
This is
But
quite
yeah, they're
important
nowhere
because I
near
recall games like
qualified
Path
in
of
the
Exile,
same
I just
fucking
don't have enough
universe to even
stash,
attempt to
and
try
I
to
have
contribute
pay
to
for
the
the
game.
stashes eventually, even though I really don't like to pay for games, right?
It's like the
And
audience
because
syndrome. They
Diablo
always
4
know
is
better,
not
but then
free
when
to
they
play like Path
actually
of
have to go
Exile,
make their own
we
shit,
really
they
don't
can't
want
do
to
it.
see that us as players paying extra for the stashes that is essential in the game as the gameplay mechanics. And it is a good direction. At the moment, from what I see in the beta, it is definitely a good direction to use gold instead of paying real money for the stashes, because Diablo 4 is not a free-to-play game. Now the second thing is, they haven't mentioned about this, the character creation slots was kept at 10 slots for Diablo during the open beta. Well, we'll be getting more slots, especially with new seasons. If they don't give us more slots, and with each of the seasons we'll run out of characters, right? And I'm sure they will give us more slots. But exactly how this will be done, and will this be a form of payment, we're not sure.
Like, so again, we're breaking down into the core of Diablo. Like, there's always been a cap. I went to D2R yesterday, so I ran into this exact same problem right here. He's talking about when you have a new season, you're not gonna be able to create a new character. But that's why in D3 they had a rebirth. I don't know if they're gonna let you rebirth because we don't know seasons yet. I would imagine the rebirth feature would still be there. But yesterday when I went to try to make a seasonal character for D2R, I had to delete a character. Like, that's just the way that it goes. That's just like you have to make in life. You have decisions. Sometimes you have to make a choice. One of these has to go. I got to free a spot. I mean, that's just.
Hopefully not. And finally, the players have raised questions.
Kay, can you watch every stream I put up? You prove my points every time without even meaning to. See, Kay says Necros in town with their skellies out was awful. So imagine having a pet on top of that. It's just, I don't know. I think there was so much crying about lag, and the area damage lag in Diablo 3 was just absolutely positively horrible. I'm so fucking glad that's gone away with. I just think they're trying to minimize that. They want it good.
About having pets in the game, and I think sometimes
Auto
the developers have mentioned about pets, but not directly, and nothing solid. If I get more information on pets, I'll let you guys know. Because what I'm looking for is, I'm looking for auto looting and also auto filtering for the loots. Now I know auto filtering will be too good, right? I remember there's different mods in different games that allows you to see different colors of the loot, so you actually go for higher grade of items. For Diablo 4, this can be going for secret, or maybe for ancestral grade of items.
Those aren't in the game anymore, my brother. Those aren't in the game. You're talking about items that are not in the game. They did away with ancestral. They did away with sacreds. So you're talking about two items that are no longer legendaries and uniques, and then you're really going to have to make your own. So. Oh, yeah, you could only rebirth 3. That's right. So, again, imagine that the game has fucking limitations. People forget that about a game. When you play Monopoly, it's got rules that you have to follow for the game. You can't just skip going to jail. That would be a great quality of life improvement if I didn't have to go to jail. Yeah, but it's not part of the game. Tough shit. God almighty.
For certain unique pieces.
All right. Oh, another funny thing. So, you know, just seeing this woman right here made me think about this. Another funny thing I'm seeing is people talking about this video right here. So, you know, they talked about all this.
To have more influence in certain parts of Sanctuary
Exactly,
in the
Dion.
vast interconnected overworld of the experience.
So anyway, we've all seen this. I'm not going to watch again. I just want to comment on this. So I've had a lot of people in my community too that pick this video apart and say that the lady made a mistake in this video. And that to me is hysterical because this is not me making a video. It's not Vegito making a video. It's not. This is the company, a multi-million, billion, whatever dollar company that's publicly traded. Somebody just didn't make this video and upload it to YouTube real quick. That's not how this shit works. There was a script that was formulated. They went through, they did a professional production. They went to fucking makeup. They fucking set up. They have a team that makes these videos. They have an editing team that edited the video. They watched the entire thing, listened to it. There's probably more than one person. Maybe just one guy. But either way, that shit changed multiple times, right? And so multiple people saw it. There's no mistake in that video. Or they would have fixed that and said, hey, don't put that out because we misspoke about that. Or they would have already addressed that, but it didn't happen. What is in this video is what's happening. And so to people are like, oh, that's a mistake. No, the fuck, it's not a mistake. You're mistaken. You're not the developer. You didn't make the game. Like, take what they said. Like, there's no mistake in this video. It's I don't know. Some of the stuff, I guess my point is some of the shit that people just pull out of their ass to justify in their head something it's hilarious. All right, should we watch some more Majestic or? He's just he's got a bunch of them. Tower of Fantasy, Lost Ark.
Welcome everyone. Today we have a gigantic update post officially from Diablo 4, and you can see all the information over here. And what I wanted to do in this video is I want to provide you guys with a shorter summary and also focused understanding of exactly what is happening and how could you get more bonus.
No, I already did my own video on this. I'm so tired of hearing that same shit over and over again.
Love what you.
All right. Let's see. That's not right. Oh, he's using that old. Okay. I am curious to see what this
Diablo
is.
started out like this, and now it's that. The first Diablo completely changed the RPG genre back in the day, but 26 years and KFC sandwiches later, we have ourselves Diablo 4. After getting a chance to play some of that, I immediately went back in time to go through Diablo 1, Diablo 2, and Diablo 3 to see where the series has evolved and how all four of them stack up to each other. I'm Alex, and this is a reconsidering of the Diablo quadrilogy. And
shit,
hey,
look how good
see
them.
where
How
the
does he?
series.
That is a badass. Look how good that capture of D3 looks. Holy fuck.
Has evolved and how all four of them stack up to each other.
That must be on a console.
I'm Alex,
yeah, it is.
and this is a reconsidering of the Diablo quadrilogy. And hey, if you happen to be new here, hit subscribe. First up, in early 1997, some claim the last day of 96, out from a pixelated hell plopped Diablo 1 and the Hellfire expansion soon after. In this specific year of the 1900s, the Titanic is about to release in theaters, Buffy the Vampire Slayer is on your TV, and your beige personal computer has a poorly placed sticker on it. RPGs
So I went and saw
I
went and saw Titanic in theaters. That's how fucking old I am. I went and saw that in theaters with my dad, and I think I was in 5th grade, 6th grade. And that scene where she starts getting painted or drawn or whatever, and she's got her titties out. My dad leaned into me and said, "Well, son, those are a set of titties." Oh, I think it was the first set of titties I ever seen, and oh, that shit was hilarious.
Either very slow and kind of clunky, or were turn-based. But when Diablo hit, no other
This
RPGs
game was
were anywhere
revolutionary,
near this
100%.
fast-paced. What we think of today as an ARPG is born. In Diablo 1 plus the Hellfire expansion, the classes were Warrior, Sorcerer, Rogue, Monk, Barb, and Barbarian. Those last two, you had to do some odd file manipulation to actually unlock them. Things were kind of weird back then.
Now, he's
What I
not
found
saying Barb and Barbarian. He's saying Bard, B-A-R-D, Bard. I've never played the Bard. Now, I don't know if he's gonna say this, but I've been playing this on stream. If you hadn't seen, done that past couple days, there's no stash at all, and basically town is your stash, and it's hard. Let's put it that way. Like, if you're not in this day and age, if you're gonna go play it, you need to learn how to at least dupe gold, because it'll take you you won't be done by the time D4 comes out.
Be most impressive when I jump back into 1 is that many of the core fundamentals of Diablo were fully figured out way back on this first attempt, and they're still used today.
Right, but but everybody wants to change them all of a sudden. They figured out all the core shit, and now the game's trash.
Semi-transparent overview map and menu systems that can be used during
Water,
gameplay
man, I
without
loved
pausing.
Sierra as a
Town
developer. I
portals to
played
dip
all
back to
them,
the hub
not
area
all of them,
whenever
but
you want.
majority of their games
The
growing up.
mysteries
I
of
fucking loved
unidentified
Sierra.
gear. Those awkwardly combustible barrels we endlessly must smack. Holding shift to attack or cast in place. And of course, Deckard Cain doing the Deckard Cain thing.
Stay a while and listen.
Now, one of the not so great things about Diablo 1 and what makes it kind of hard to go back to is the loot. Things that are dropped can be easily missed since they blend in so much with the ground, and you can only highlight things with use of a temporary buff from a search spell or a scroll. I looked in the key bindings and nope, there is no way to easily reveal that loot that's on the ground, so don't miss it with your eyeballs. But for some reason, there's 2 keys dedicated just to dynamically raising and lowering the brightness during gameplay. Why would you ever need main center keys used up just to do that? The other thing that was kinda hard to get used to is how death works. When you die playing solo in Diablo 1, you don't drop your stuff, lose durability, or get kicked back to town. No, you flat out suck at life, progress lost, go back to the last time you manually saved, which you better hope wasn't too long ago. Well, Other things I just plain didn't remember about Diablo 1, like these potions which can instantly increase your weapon's total damage.
All right, so let me just give you some context on that. If you play single player, you can do that. If you play in multiplayer, so like what I've been doing, we've got a virtual IP going, or virtual LAN going. My character's only on multiplayer, so if you want to play single, like we do in D3 or something, like you go online, you play single player by yourself in a multiplayer game, your shit drops, you're fucked. You have to go back to town, try to go back down there and get it. Like, it's a completely different goddamn animal. So if there's nobody in the game with you that can help you out, you might as well play hardcore.
Huh. There's no skill trees here, so new spells are learned just by finding or buying books. Knowledge is oh, they beat me to it. Gold is a hugely important resource in Diablo 1.
It's everything.
And
Gold's
I was
everything.
always trying to save up for some better gear, but ended up always blowing it all on restocking my potions instead. That, along with the more traditional level-to-level design and high difficulty spikes, makes Diablo 1 play more like a survival dungeon crawler. I kinda like that about it. Man, it sure is hard to see in this place.
Yeah, you in hell, boy.
Oh. So, in conclusion, Diablo 1 brought more real-time action to RPGs, and that brutal survival-like feel of its progression is one thing that I wish was more present in the later entries. Which takes
so what they're not, another thing they're not talking about is when you're playing sorcerer, to level, just because you level up doesn't mean shit as far as your spells go. So just because you level up don't mean that you're more powerful with that particular spell. You actually have to find spell books in the world and use those to upgrade your spells. So yeah, you could go the whole game and not find certain spell books, and you could be weak as hell until you farm that stuff or go to Adria and get the spell books that you needed. So that's another thing.
Takes us to the year 2000 when Diablo 2 hit and the Lords of Destruction expansion.
Before we really get too far into that, y'all, I played this. Oh my God, that's full. So first of all, I made a mistake and signed up for some information about Full Sail because I was kind of curious about maybe going back to school to get to develop games and shit, and then saw the price tag of that. These fuckers will not stop because they call me every goddamn day. Every day they call me, y'all. I'm like, can y'all please fuck off? But anyway, so I played Diablo 2 in 2001. I guess when I was freshman in 8th grade, I think, something like that. And this was amazing. So once I had beaten this and got a real good feel for it, I went back for about 2 weeks and played Diablo 1 because I wanted to understand the lore and the story and all of that. Beat Diablo 1 without any hacks or dupes or cheats or anything on normal, and then went back to playing D2.
The year after. Almost everything is doubly, maybe triply improved or expanded on over Diablo 1, and this was made in just 3 years after that came out.
Oh, those fucking
in Diablo 2 plus the Lords of Destruction expansion, we had the classes Amazon, Assassin, Barbarian, Druid, Necromancer, Paladin, and Sorceress. The sequel expands out of the confines of just dark, basic-looking dungeons, with large, above-ground areas which could lead you into various underground caves and dungeon systems. Other things D2 added, let's just bang them out.
So during the commercial, that looks pretty similar to what we're doing right now, doesn't it? At least
an
the
AI
feel.
Companion system, multiple skill trees, thankfully a loot drop overlay, a stash. Also a place to store your things.
Stash. This is a stash, motherfucker.
Improved shops, multiple hub towns, socketable items and gems, and a face-melting 800 by 600 resolution. Speaking of, let's switch over to Diablo 2 Resurrected, the 2021 remaster for the rest of this. Wait a second. There we go. One of the only things I found that hasn't aged too well in Diablo 2 is the stamina system that just kind of annoyingly limits how much you can sprint towards the start of the game, but later on it's pretty much not a thing.
Oh, fucking softcore, dude. I don't play hardcore. That's way too much time invested for me to lose all my items, all my shit, all of that shit.
I don't really care for charms.
So I know that's kind of a sticky situation to say because I'm literally saying that about seasons. I don't mind resetting a character for seasons, but I think I would break every piece of equipment that I have and go into rage mode if I played hardcore, and just knowing that if I got a little lazy or if I got a little risky and it didn't pay off, that I would lose all of that due to my stupidity and I would beat myself up pretty hard. I just don't feel like it's not for me. I understand some guys love it and it's hard and it's whatever and it's fulfilling and whatever. It's just not for me. I don't know.
They take up inventory space to provide extra bonuses, so you're kind of accepting annoyance for statistical gain. I always just feel burdened by those things, maybe it's just me. However, Diablo 2 is still one of the greatest RPGs to this day, only mild pure nostalgia factored in, and I vividly remember the frenzy this caused when it came out. Every kid in my school with a janky home computer not designed for gaming was intensely trying to get this to run. Those who could were completely glued to it, to the point where grades were plummeting and parents were banning use of it in their homes.
Y'all, I had to convince my mom. I grew up in a very religious household. I had to convince, and I guess it's not really convincing, but I had to tell my mom. She saw Diablo and Satan on there. She's like, fuck no. But I had to tell her that you actually, fought for heaven to kill Diablo, which I guess you do, really. But I had to, convince her to let me play this game. Because she thought it was, an evil game and all this. And yeah. And it wasn't. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. But
it was great. 12 years after Diablo 2 dropped in 2012, we have Diablo 3 and the Reaper of Souls expansion 2 years later. D3 gave us the classes Barbarian, Crusader, Demon Hunter, Monk, Necromancer, Witch Doctor, and Wizard. Diablo 3's main focus seemed to be on raw action this time around, with huge piles of enemies, combo multipliers, environmental traps, and kinda like power-ups with the health and attack globes. A gory loot theme park is the best way I could quickly describe Diablo 3. The ways in which you can modify your gear in D3 are much deeper than before, which ties directly into your ability to level up the crafting vendors in town. Instead of skill trees this time around,
that shit looks so different on console than
it does
on PC.
As you level up, and each have different variations which alter how they function. The Reaper of Souls expansion luckily added a true endgame with its adventure mode, and honestly, I wasn't too hot on D3 until this came out. Adventure mode was addictive and rewarding, and really took advantage of the semi-randomized level generation, especially with rifts.
I'm sorry, I thought D3 was great.
Also, Paragon levels were introduced in D3.
I mean, this guy right here this is a good video. I'm enjoying this. He's putting this in great perspective. This is just how I've played every single one of these. I built a PC on launch day for Diablo 3, me and my best friend and my cousin, we went to Micro Center and all three of us bought components to build a new PC. And we went back to my place. We all three built machines, and we stopped by GameStop first and picked up our pre-order. And then we built our machines and we installed, and we all three, like World of Warcraft South Park style, sat down and played the fucking game. It was awesome. We hadn't seen any of this shit before. You could look and see what better items were. You could look and see, you could craft. You could do all kind of shit that you could never do before. It was badass. Now, yeah, as it went by, there were some problems and whatever. But I feel like the next step, we have all this. I feel like it's just the natural progression. I feel like it fits right in.
Which allow you to further improve the stats of your build by pushing into harder and harder torment levels of difficulty. Going back into Diablo 3 for the first time in years, there's nothing that glaringly felt, ugh, this hasn't aged well, and it remains the big flashy loot pinata it's always been. Which takes us 11 years later into 2023.
That's a goddamn great way to talk about Diablo 3. It's a flashy loot pinata. I like that.
With Diablo 4. If everything stayed at the pace of Diablo 1 to Diablo 2, we would be at Diablo 9 by now. That's a little unrealistic, though. The classes we have in 4 are the Barbarian, Rogue, Sorcerer,
Hold on. What the fuck's he talking about?
9 by 2, we would. If everything stayed at the pace of Diablo 1 to Diablo 2, we would be at Diablo 9 by now.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a little unrealistic, though.
That's fair, yeah. I thought he said 2 to 3.
The classes we have in 4 are the Barbarian, Rogue, Sorcerer, Necromancer, and Druid. Diablo 4's major difference this time around is injecting some MMO into its formula, and getting back to its RPG focus and tone from the first two games. While Diablo 3 felt hot topic dark, Diablo...
Okay, he didn't expand on that. What is MMO? This is what I have a question. Maybe y'all can tell me. What aspects of an MMO have been injected into this game? Because you still can only play with 4 fucking people in your party, so that doesn't feel like MMO. You still can only have 150 people in your clan. That doesn't feel like massively multiplayer to me. But I'm not an MMO player, so I don't know. Maybe y'all need to tell me what aspects besides that. My gross overinterpretation, I guess. But explain this to me, because I don't understand. It feels just like a Diablo game. I don't understand.
4 seems to be getting back to its roots, being truly brooding, atmospheric, and serious this time around. Cue adorable puppy backpack.
I think that's dumb, personally. I don't understand how you can be dark and gory and gloomy, but then you're carrying around a fucking wolf puppy on your back. That's what doesn't make sense.
I'm not gonna marry the daughter of a scammer!
Unlike previous Diablo games, the overworld map in 4 is not generated...
Yeah, world boss, okay. Water makes a real good point here, y'all. 1 and 2 soundtracks were fantastic. 3 missed the mark. 4 puts focus back. Or hopes 4 puts a focus back. I think I agree. I would like to see some iconic tracks, but I think in today's day and age, majority of people listen to music. At least in my community, a lot of guys listen to background music. Whereas in Diablo 1, Diablo 2, you couldn't stream music. So I think that might be a difference, or just another, maybe a devil's advocate point there. So maybe we won't expect that. Maybe we will, but maybe we won't at the same time, because there was a lot of emphasis put on music back in the day. And nowadays with people's attention spans, and I don't know, it's just something to think about. Oh, the other players roaming around too? Okay. But I mean, so it's pretty minuscule though, right? Like, I mean, I never play WoW, but from what I've seen from like Asmon's channel, they have like big, like 20 player parties. Is that right? Like they just go out and do this big thing. Like, I'm not saying it's a negative thing. I don't know if I agree with that statement or not, because they're not in here, and I might fucking love that. Have fucking 20 guys go do a damn stronghold or some shit. That would be badass. But when people say it's MMO, I don't see where it's MMO, because just being online all the time, I guess doesn't fit the mold for me.
Created randomly to allow for online players to scramble around in your game. When you head underground into a dungeon, those are instanced and maintain that semi-randomization.
This is not good for my withdrawals that I'm having.
Kind of the best of both
I'm
worlds.
sitting here, there's a bunch of y'all in here, we're having a fucking good time, and we're watching more of this shit now. I'm like, I just want to play, goddammit!
Determined areas you can purposely seek out, while the underground layer is classic, unpredictable dungeon crawling. Skill trees are back and are quite a bit deeper than they were in Diablo 2, while also including some of Diablo 3's skill variation ideas. Aspects are another big change in Diablo 4, which are unlocked by completing certain dungeons or by extracting their effect off of legendary items. Once you have an aspect modifier, which is essentially an effect usually exclusive to legendary gear, you can slap those onto gear of your choosing to have more direct control over your build. However, the main standout from my time with Diablo 4 is how much better boss fights have become.
Yeah.
Check out the Butcher fight in Diablo 1. It's just a dude endlessly swinging at you over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah, Dion, I played.
Boss fights are actually good boss fights.
I played D3 on
with
Xbox
various
for a little
phases,
bit, and it does play
and
differently.
unique
I liked it.
while having a greater focus on dodging attacks, rather than just standing in front of them and smashing your DPS against theirs. The above-ground overworld map also has giant world bosses out there. Just this early game one was more fun to try to kill than any other I've fought in a more traditional MMO. Overall, Diablo 4 seems like a greatest hits of the Diablo franchise, but in the best ways, bringing along the feel and tone of the older games and the deeper gear systems of the later entries, while adding in just enough new to make it feel like its own thing. And with that, those were my thoughts on playing all 4 of the mainline Diablo games within the same month in 2023. Let me know what you think of Diablo 4.
Okay, making that old
also tell me
486
which
scream,
Diablo
huh?
game was your very first. I started with Diablo 1, but hadn't played it since around when it launched until right now. So it was pretty much an entirely new game for me at this point. The main takeaways from all this: Diablo 1 is
yes,
worth going
Gan.
back to and
Yes,
deserves a remake or a remaster before it's forever lost to time. And
it
Diablo
gets Butters
4
to freeze
is
his
fusing
ass.
together the best elements from the first, second, and third game. Maybe a bit from the telephone one. As always, this has been Alex, and thanks for watching.
Thanks, Alex.
Get cable-free live TV with no hidden fees and watch whenever you want with unlimited DVR space. YouTube TV. Try it free. Terms apply. Cancel anytime.
Mark and Tracy have outgrown their old place and are looking to buy a new one.
Yeah, Mark and Tracy. Alright, let's see here. Man, it must be nice to be Asmongold. Just watch everybody else's channel. Oh shit, let's see what 19 minutes ago. Here we go.
The Paragon boards. This has got to be one of the most
bathroom. What, hun? Bathroom.
dynamic systems in Diablo 4, and we've barely ever got information on it. That is until today. And if you're interested in earning a free Diablo 4 game copy, the Comeback Kids are doing a giveaway, so don't forget to stick around until the end of the video to see how you can earn a free copy for yourself. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Paragon board is a feature that unlocks at level 50 and is going to be a very major part of Diablo 4's endgame. You get 4 Paragon points each time you level up past level 50, and you could spend them on tiles to further progress your character.
We knew that
Tile
already,
benefits range from minor stat boost increases all the way up to becoming complete build enhancers. There are also gateway nodes, which are placed at the edge of the boards, which you can then attach brand new boards to and further progress through those as well. Quick disclaimer, obviously all these stats and minor details are subject to change, so take the exact numbers and percentages with a grain of salt. Now, wasting no more time, let's dive right into it. Okay, now starting off with your normal nodes, these are going to be the most common nodes found throughout the Paragon board, and really they are just in place just to give you some minor bonuses as you're progressing to get those more beneficial tiles. These tiles are going to give you small bonuses.
Okay, just help me understand. Where did it says developers make huge mistake and fully leaked this feature? I don't understand where. That's just clickbait as fuck. He's just talking about the Paragon. Shane, my starter class build is Druid Werebear, brother. I'm gonna be playing the shit out of Druid. And I'm going to make it a point to show it doesn't do 17 fucking damage.
To your character's base stats, and these include +5 to willpower, strength, intelligence, or dexterity. Once again, these nodes are primarily in place to help you traverse through the Paragon board while giving you some bonuses along the way. Now, moving along to your magic nodes, magic node tiles will give you a bonus depending on the build the board is catering to currently. For example, if you are on the Hemorrhage Paragon board for the Barbarian, which primarily focuses on bleed effects, you're going to get magic nodes that increase your bleed damage over time, and other nodes that increase total damage you deal to bleeding targets. But if you're on the Bonebreaker Paragon board for the Barbarian, you will have magic nodes increasing things like your total health percentage as well as your overpower damage. There are also magic nodes that apply to all classes and are the same, such as 1% life increase, 1% damage increase, and 1% resistance to all elements. When it comes to your class and the specific build you are trying to play, you're definitely going to want to check out all the other boards and see which magic nodes and rare nodes complement your build the best when you're combining multiple boards together. Now, rare nodes are definitely when things start to get a bit more interesting and choice starts to actually seem more impactful. For example, on a sorcerer, you have rare tiles that increases your fire damage by 5% and damage over time by 3%, as well as nodes that increase your fire damage by 5% and critical strike damage by 4.5%. Now, most of the time, rare nodes are going to be very similar to magic nodes in the sense that the benefits you receive for them are going to depend on what board you're on, and it will cater to the build dedicated to the board type. Also, along your Paragon board, you will occasionally find a socket slot. A socket is a special tile that can contain a glyph. Glyphs are items found throughout Sanctuary that, when embedded into a Paragon board socket, it will bring you various benefits based upon the number of active tiles around the socket's radius. Glyphs can also be leveled up by delving into some, and I quote, particularly dangerous dungeons. Leveling up a glyph extends the radius of their effect, allowing each one to draw power from or impart power to even more tiles. This can definitely pile on to be very beneficial if you have all the surrounding nodes unlocked. Sockets are definitely going to be another feature in the endgame to grind or pursue to really elevate your character's Paragon board. Okay, now by far the most impactful tile you will come across on your Paragon board is going to be your legendary tile.
All right, Crypto, is it the deadbolt or is it just the bottom part, like the bottom handle? Because you can open that pretty damn easy. If you got a credit card or if you got a pocket knife, a pair of scissors, you can sneak that in and actually wiggle the striker back and open the door. So, I've had to do it many a damn times. Yeah, it's coming. That's why we're sitting here just kind of looking at all this content, all this fucking shit that keeps coming out, and I've been tearing some of it apart and some of it I like.
Tiles. Now, each Paragon board has one legendary tile that determines all the other rare and magic tiles on the board to help cater to that legendary tile's effect. We couldn't give you all the rare and magic tiles listed because there are literally hundreds of options and variations to go through, but we can give you the most impactful and game-changing nodes for each class, which are the legendary tiles.
Oh, you got into the window.
Okay, now starting things off with the barbarian legendary tiles. You have Hemorrhage, where enemies that have been affected by your bleeding for 3 or more seconds take 15% increased damage from you. This Paragon board focuses...
Yeah, so it doesn't have... This guy's notorious for just recycling... It's just recycled shit. And I totally get it, because... You know, if I was a... Let me choose my words wisely on this. I guess if I was a smarter man than I am, I would play the game like they're playing, because they're just getting subs and they're getting views and they're making money. But I feel like it's dishonest if I do this. I feel like everybody, I mean, why do I need to tell you the same shit repackaged? So, look at the clickbait title. Developers make huge mistake and fully leaked this feature. So you're immediately going to click on it. You're going to go, oh shit. It's lies. He hasn't talked about all he's talking about is Paragon board. He didn't say the Paragon board explained. He said some lie to get people to look. I refuse to do that. Refuse. And maybe I won't be big, you know, because of that. But I fucking refuse to do that. All right, anyway, let's see. What else can we look at? See? Thank you, Carl. And I refuse to do that. If you see, besides my April Fool's joke, but you know what, guys? Here, I'm going to show y'all something pretty interesting. My buddy Eros texted me yesterday and said, dude, have you seen this list? He said, check this list out. I'll pull it up here so I can show you. But he Googled the top Diablo channels for 2013. 35 best. This is on FeedSpot. Come on, focus, you piece of shit. Oh my God. You would do this to me. Stop it. You see your boy down there? Number 4? Yeah. Diablo, Vegeta, Rags, Hog, Anna Cakes. They did like some, based on your video views, current, in the last X amount of time and all this shit. So I thought it was fucking wild. I still don't believe it, but apparently I'm on some other list when I had like 800 some odd subscribers, so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to give you fluff bullshit, and when we know something, we'll know something. It ain't no big deal. Yeah, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all supporting me for that, because there's always it's always tempting to, do this, try to get more views, and I just refuse to be fake. I ain't doing it. Oh, here's, look at this, new content.
Tooth decay?
See what this is. Yeah, I have all that.
Densify toothpaste can extend the life of teeth. Now.
So Diablo 4 is about to get a massive update in the upcoming couple of days with a developer live stream featuring.
Whoops, I didn't mean to pause that. Sorry, y'all.
Riker, Joseph Pipiora, and Joe Shelley, and I cannot wait. However, on this channel, I'm hyped about Diablo 4. I assume a lot of you out there watching the video, except for, the 2 of you that are
yeah, you're right.
Watching all these videos. We are excited for Diablo 4, and I want to talk about something.
Oh, Dan, I can do a hot tub stream if you want.
Change in potentially the future.
Now, you see what I look like right now with the white T-shirt on. That's exactly what it will look like in the hot tub. It'll be me with a white T-shirt on, but I won't be wearing a shirt. So you're really getting the show for free.
Addressing sort of the designs of Diablo 4 and having the developers, because they care so much, it appears, change their game to kind of focus on this vocalization, which I think is an interesting discussion to have, and I want to address some of your comments as well as some of these posts out here that
I got a gnat in my shed right now. It's driving me crazy.
Post open beta. So this post is what kind of brought this discussion back.
Oh shit, what is this post? Hold on. I'm happy players aren't designing D4. I'm actually really happy with a lot of Blizzard's design choices. Blizz is known for not making too much stock in player feedback. With the right vision and talent is usually the right thing to do, and coincidentally, I'm seeing a whole ton of really bad cringe ideas from many players who generally dislike how D4 turned out and they want it to be more like PoE. 1000% agreed. Personally, I got the game that I wanted. Call me a bootlicker, say that I'm rubbing it in, but I'm just happy to play the game that Blizz made. I closely follow the devs' blogs. Autism Kindness, thank you for following. I followed the dev blocks and leaks, and I would nod and smile every time I felt this team was their A team, and they would come up with a very solid product. Yeah, I agree. I like this guy. Who's this guy? Dog Soggy, 441. I'm going to find him in the game. Top donor for that, so you're telling me I need to do, hold on, I don't have a hot tub, so do I need to go down to the lake and just do a swim with the alligators or some shit? Because I'm poor, I'll take some money, so if y'all want me to go do some shit, I'll go get in the boat right now and go fucking swim with an alligator. Just depends on how much money we're talking about here.
And it's been echoed throughout a lot of my...
Any of y'all watch, Justin Minks? Because I watched her eat dirt on a stream and chew that shit with her teeth. It's breaking her teeth. I'm like, oh my God, this is what mental illness looks like. But Michael, no, I would look horrible in a fucking bikini. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. God, it would look like Tammy from my fucking 1,000-pound sisters walking around out there.
Videos. Now, I'm not particularly newly exposed to this idea. This is actually an opinion I've held for a very long time. And just to give you guys an example of this, when we're out chatting and
Get a
about
kiddie pool,
movies or
Dusty.
games, and there's always this statement where it's like, if they just did this one thing, the game would
I ain't
be
got a
great,
pickup. I
or
got a
how could
fucking
they not
Suburban.
see this? It was so obvious.
I traded my
And
pickup in because I used to fish tournaments, and I travel these different places, and I wanted a Suburban, so I didn't have to pay for hotel. I could just sleep in the back of my truck, and I did it multiple times. It was fucking perfect. But yeah, I was like, the only thing I can think of would be like going to the lake and like going to somewhere where there's, I don't know, there's a bunch of, I really don't want to go get in that lake. There's a bunch of alligators down there.
I've even said that.
What about a banana hammock, Kay? I could do that. Hey, we ain't even talked about a dollar amount. I'm going back and watching this damn.
If you take a step
fucking
back,
ruin my
a lot of
reputation
these
before I even get
companies,
going real
these
good.
development teams, they're paid millions, if not tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in totality to develop the game, right? And that means that they probably have a lot of skilled talent on there. So you can imagine your average person who has this average idea.
Y'all just don't understand. I mean, do you see
a lot of factors? And so I always tend to give
I got the lights on me
development
right
teams the
now.
benefit of the doubt, even though I personally do have a lot of
But
feedback
it's,
myself. Now, this is actually an interesting idea because in Diablo 4, this idea where
All right, hold on. We got a King of Kong. I got to address this. I went down the King of Kong rabbit hole you mentioned. Dude, did you didn't find it interesting? You didn't find that guy fucking absurd that he had like his minions go watch this guy at the competition and he didn't bother to show up and defend his record? You didn't want to go punch that guy in the mouth so hard that it knocked all of his teeth down his throat? That movie had me so mad the way that they fucked that guy over who actually went to the competition and set the world fucking record in front of everybody where no one fucking believed in him or anything, never even heard of him. And then this piece of shit, like a literal supervillain, sits back and is on the phone with his fucking disciple and he's like, send out the tape. And they bring a television and a VCR and play a tape when he had advocated for live records this whole time. The guy's a fucking clown. Shane, I don't have a pickup. I can't put a tarp in a pickup that doesn't exist. 50-gallon drum, I don't know if I'd fit in the 50-gallon drum. I'm just kidding. I'm not that fat, but. Oh, we could have like a hog roast and put me in a hot tub in a 55-gallon drum. Oh, yeah, I could easily just green screen. Okay, I guess I could do that.
player.
Oh, yeah, like this guy. There we go. I'm in the hot tub. Are you happy? I'm in the fucking hot tub. You want me to get undressed now too? And show you some fucking feet pics? Golly. What do you mean does Blizzard not have a future audience?
game systems. And then with Dragonflight, people are like, wow, they're listening and they're super, super quick to address player feedback. And they seem to be that way with Diablo.
I don't see that at all, man, for real. Circling the drain? I don't see it. Let's check this out. All right, so they ain't gave us a report. Oh, that's for last year. Yeah, let's check this out. Oh, I didn't. Did y'all know that Blizzard had Candy Crush? Blizzard's got Call of Duty. And they just teamed with Microsoft. So I would say it's probably not going down the ATVI. Let's see what it is right now. ATVI stock. That's $85 stock. I mean, I wouldn't really say they going down the drain. I mean, pretty healthy looking stock. If anything, they gaining money. So if you want to compare that to like Ubisoft, now if you wanted to say Ubisoft was going down the drain, I would agree with that. Absolutely. But I think that's just your personal opinion, really. That's fine. I mean,
Diablo 4. So this is definitely a new thing with Blizzard, as I've played a lot of Blizzard games over the course of my time, and generally speaking, they kind of do their own thing, and I think that's actually a good thing. However, as of recently in Diablo 4, they've released the open beta retrospective.
I mean, like, I'll show you a perfect example of a company going down the drain. Who makes this? This is Ubisoft, I'm pretty sure. Yes, this is Ubisoft. Okay, what in the fuck? Do y'all see this? What is this? What in the fuck is this? What is this right here? This is sponsored for Skull and Bones? This? Why is he wearing a damn holster? Why is he wearing an accessory? I don't understand that. Why is there a All I wanted to do was see the video game. I didn't want to see a man saddle here. Like, oh my God. That is fucking hilarious. Anyway, what I was trying to say, what my point I was making, I don't know if y'all have seen Skull and Bones. This was my backup plan. This was my get through until Diablo 4 release plan, like 6 months ago. And then this game has been pushed back until Oblivion. Push back and push back and push back and push back and push back. And so when you look at Ubisoft, we just saw it a minute ago, when you saw their stock price that's going down, that's a company that's going down the drain. They can't even complete a fucking game. This was supposed to be like one of their saving games. So I don't think Blizzard's going down the drain. I think people just have different opinions of the way their games are. Yes, there is a big market for indie games right now, and I think a lot of that has to come with the indie people are the only ones that are thinking outside the box about game, like a gold mining game or these simulator games or like the survival games that are real big right now. Like a lot of the big major developers aren't putting out content like that. So I think that's got a lot to do with it too. People want to play something besides Call of Duty 78 and Battlezone 15 or Battlefield 15, whatever.
And one of the most hot button issues, and I've made 2 videos now about this, is the reset dungeon button. Now, one video was just to basically explain, I don't think it matters that much, and I don't see why they removed it, but I also don't see why it absolutely needs to be in the game. And the second video was basically explaining that, well, a lot of people have a misconception about how Diablo 4 kind of progresses in terms of the leveling process and the endgame process. So it can be added back and it doesn't matter, and it also doesn't have to be added back and it doesn't matter, right?
It does matter if it's added back. It does matter.
It shouldn't be in the game at all, improves the game drastically, and I've seen the other opposite opinion, which is that it ruins the entire game. I think both these opinions are kind of awkward because of the way Blizzard, or Diablo 4 rather, is designed. And this is a perfect example of player feedback,
dude,
getting in the way of Diablo.
Again, I don't know if you were on here earlier when I was talking about Full Sail. I got a random phone call. It was from Full fucking Sail. And so, I mean, I went down that rabbit hole, thought about developing a game, and it costs so much money to go to school that there's no fucking way. No way. So, I mean, that would be really cool to develop an indie game. Also, know my dad's a software engineer. So, growing up, I watched him cuss and develop his flagship program that he developed back then. I don't know if I got it, to be honest with you. I'm man enough to admit when I ain't got it. I don't think I got it. I think my talents are other places besides that. I'm way too ADHD. I don't know if I could focus on having to I don't think I could finish it. So I think my strength is, I don't even know if I could provide feedback. You know, I got ideas about stuff, but I don't want to sound like I'm some god either. You know, I don't want to sound like certain other people. So I don't think that's where my strength is. I do have ideas for a really cool game. I would like there to be a fucking life game to where literally you could just do the same shit where random shit just happens to you all the time, just like in real world. Like you just have a life game. And we've always thought about that shit since we were little kids. Not GTA, I'm talking about a life game. Like, maybe they already have that, I don't know. But we thought about that when I was fucking 8 years old. Me and my cousin always talked about that. There should be a life game where, you know, you start a business or you do this, or like there's literally infinite possibilities. You know, you could do anything. Join secret societies, be a terrorist, be any career you wanted to be. And I know the scope of that is so vast, right? But
Diablo 4's sort of development process. Now, I'm not saying that all companies should just ignore players entirely. I think that's also a wrong way to go about things. But to sit there and address every piece of feedback is not necessarily going to be a really good thing. For example,
not like The Sims though. Like, not like The Sims. Like first person. Like you play it first person. So, you know, The Sims, you build the house, they go to work, you sit there, like you're still looking at the house. You know, The Sims is similar to that, but it's nowhere near the depth that, you know, it's nowhere near the depth that we're visioning. You know, like in The Sims, I don't know, maybe in like the later guy, I guess Sims 4 was the most recent one I played. You can't actually control your player like in GTA. Yeah, and see, like Michael said, you could actually play like The Sims, but way more in depth. Like you actually had to play the guy. So if you chose the gamer career, you had to start with nothing and fight with your fucking mom and like deal with all that shit that you deal. Identity. Let's check that out. What the fuck is this?
Yo, what's up boys, and welcome back to another video. This one is going to be on the one and only Identity, a game which, believe it or not, a few people have actually asked me to cover, and I'm not covering it for no reason today. There has been an update, which is what we're going to be looking at today. as well as just the game as a whole. It's been in development now for probably, I think, about 6 years since the Kickstarter. It's been on Steam for almost 4 years now, releasing back in November of 2019 by Asylum Entertainment Incorporated. And the game has definitely got a really, really bad reputation. But I thought today we'll give it the benefit of a doubt, and we'll see what's up with the game. The game obviously
I think I
raised,
saw
like,
Carl
$1.6
or something
million
did a...
in its Kickstarter. It's gone
Carl
ahead and said
Jokes
on the
did something
website,
on
even to this
this.
day, it's changing what it means to be an MMORPG. Yeah,
Yeah,
changing what it means to be an MMORPG. This is gonna be a bad video. The last time I made a video on this game, I think, was about 2 years ago. So now, like I said, it's been out for like 4 years. I've got a bit of an issue right now
Why
where
is
I
this
can't actually
chick
get to
bald?
my apartment. So that's a bit problematic. I just kind of keep on falling through the map, which is good. But yeah, 4 years of development. The devs are still insisting that they're working on it. So what I'm going to do for the devs today is I'm going to compile a bunch of bugs, and you guys can fix them. I'll give you guys, like, I don't know, 2 years to fix them. I think that's pretty generous. So hopefully you guys can fix those bugs, okay? Like, it's interesting, on the Steam community, like, the discussion tab, I've seen people calling it, like, a scam and people getting banned. And like I said, them still insisting that we're working on it. It's pretty obvious they're not. Like, I don't know why I don't know if... I think most of the mods are, like, unpaid labor. They're not actually the developers. I don't know why they... Like, it's on...
Oh, yeah, so this is that video game that they went to Kickstarter, and they took a lot of damn money from folks, and then they just released some bullshit town square. Like, all you can do is run around in that town. And they just released that, like, just to shut everybody up, and then they didn't do any other kind of update or anything on it. Yeah, I understand what they were going for. They were trying to take everybody's fucking money, is what it sounds like. But yeah, no, I mean, we had this idea, I'm literally talking about 20 years ago. And you just think about GTA, but life. Like, shit, when just random events happen all the time. You know, you could run into the damn hot-ass woman that wanted to suck your Peter. I mean, just all kind of shit, you know, whatever. Anything that could happen in your damn life could happen, but it's an unrealistic game because it would cost too much money, and the system resources would be unbelievable, and it would take fucking forever, and it wouldn't be you know, there would be some kind of limitation for it. So that's all it is. All right.
See, like, an issue within it as a...
What else can we look at? What is this Grim Dawn? Have y'all played that? What is this? Looky here, they got more beats coming on. All right, gents, I've been streaming for about 4 hours. I'm gonna wind it down. I'm gonna go inside and get me something to eat. And then I'll come back and figure out something to do. I'm gonna figure out something cool and I'll be back. So appreciate y'all streaming. This was a badass stream. We had a bunch of folks watching this shit. But I need to go eat before I die. Yeah, I'll be back in about an hour. Shit. I'll be back in about an hour, boys. Thanks for coming.